Chapter 2861, Time Reversal, Waiting for Rain and Thunder. 12 days later, the Origin shuttle stopped in front of a city. Lin Moyu slowly opened his eyes, and in his soul world, the third Tao pattern was shining brightly. In 12 days, multitasking, he successfully condensed the third Tao pattern. At the same time, he made progress in his research on merging two types of formations. With a little more time, he could succeed. Through the Origin shuttle, Lin Moyu saw the situation before him. In front of him was a ruin, and from the scale of the ruins, it was clear that it was once a medium-sized city. Lin Moyu left the Origin shuttle, personally sensing the lingering aura here. There must have been a great battle here, with lingering origin power. This origin power comes from the demon race. Lin Moyu was 70% sure that the city was destroyed by the demon race. The lingering origin power was still strong. With a slight smile, he activated the Eye of the Undead and saw that many soul flames were still hidden within the city. Though they tried to hide their aura, they couldn't escape Lin Moyu's perception. Just right, the bone hell needs feeding. Lin Moyu snapped his fingers, space twisted, and the bone hell descended silently. Magma flowed everywhere, and the hellish fiends pounced like wolves. But they couldn't move faster than the Eye of Hell, which opened, sweeping with a powerful soul impact, shattering the soul flames hidden in the city. The corpses were then devoured by the hellish fiends, leaving nothing behind. In an instant, the entire ruin was leveled. The ground looked as if it had been plowed anew, perfectly flat. The hellish fiends truly devoured everything, regardless of what it was. Lin Moyu even suspected that given enough time, they could devour the entire Origin continent. And the Great Tao, could they even devour humanity? So far, Lin Moyu hadn't found anything they couldn't eat, only a few things they couldn't yet chew through. The hellish fiends were indiscriminate eaters, accepting all. Lin Moyu walked into the former city area, his gaze wandering around. The Thunder Vault should be here, so why can't I see it? The Lufeng Merchant Association's information shouldn't be wrong, so why? He trusted the Lufeng Merchant Association's information, but now even the ruins were cleared, and the ground was like a grey wasteland, with no sign of the Thunder Vault. Lin Moyu wasn't in a hurry. He went to the center of the former city. Let me see. The Time Great Tao appeared beside him, its flow enveloping the surroundings, the power of the Great Tao vibrating, and time began to reverse. He wanted to see what had happened to the city, how it was destroyed, and where the Origin Vault was. Now that he had reached the peak Heavenly Sovereign level, he was much stronger than when he first arrived on the Origin continent. His understanding of the Time Great Tao had deepened, allowing him to reverse time. His soul had also reached the Tao Sovereign Third Realm, an important foundation for time reversal. Under the Time Great Tao's influence, the time imprint of the city began to appear in his vision. First, the ruins appeared, leveled by Lin Moyu using the Bone Hell. Then the ruins reappeared, and events that had occurred there began to unfold. Not long ago, human cultivators had arrived. 3 heavenly sovereigns came, all mid-level, clearly on a training mission. After arriving, they were ambushed by the demon race, and the 3 fled, their whereabouts unknown. Going further back, more humans were ambushed by the demon race, with several killed. Continuing back, human cultivators kept coming, some strong enough to counterattack after being ambushed. But after exploring for a while, they found nothing and left. Time kept rewinding, and in a year, dozens of battles occurred, almost one every few days. Many demons died, and human cultivators weren't spared either. Such battles were common across the eastern continent. Through a year's time reversal, Lin Moyu had his answer. There must be something wrong here, or the demon race wouldn't keep coming. As time reversed further, the consumption of soul power increased. After just 2 years, the consumption of soul power exceeded the world tree's replenishment rate. 3 years should be enough in the great world. I could reverse time for 1,000,000 years. But now, on the Origin continent, I can only reverse 3 years. The gap is still vast. Lin Moyu felt he was getting closer to the truth and continued the time reversal. Finally, at 2.5 years, it started to rain where the city stood. Over 2 years, it had rained many times, but this rain was different. This rain was a thunderstorm. And as the rain began, several demon Tao sovereigns appeared in the ruins, along with human Tao sovereigns. There weren't many, about 5 on each side. They faced off in the rain. The sky turned black, clouds covering the sun, and a thunderclap sounded. The Origin Vault appeared in the scene. In an instant, Lin Moyu's soul power consumption skyrocketed, increasing hundreds of times. The time reversal abruptly stopped, and Lin Moyu's face turned pale. In that moment, his soul power was nearly exhausted. The world tree worked to replenish Lin Moyu's soul power, and his aura gradually recovered. What just happened? When the Thunder Vault appeared, my soul power consumption spiked. Could it be that my time Great Tao, when reversing to the Origin Vault, causes a massive soul power drain? Ordinary Origin Vaults shouldn't do this, unless this one is unusual. The Origin Vault must involve the Origin Great Tao, making it difficult to reverse. That's the only explanation. There must be a secret in this Origin Vault. The Thunder Vault needs a thunderstorm to appear. If so, I'll have to wait. Lin Moyu looked at the sky. It was clear with no clouds, so rain wasn't coming soon. He recalled the rains he saw during the time reversal, which started suddenly. One moment it was clear, the next it was pouring. But not every rain brought a thunderstorm. Ordinary rain couldn't reveal the Thunder Vault. If he had to wait, it might take some time. Lin Moyu thought, why not try? He summoned the Thunder Light Purple Striped Tiger. The Thunder Light Purple Striped Tiger controlled the Thunder Great Tao, and it followed Lin Moyu's command, summoning the power of the Great Tao. In an instant, thunder rumbled in the sky, and light danced. But nothing happened around. The Thunder Vault didn't appear. Looks like I'll have to wait for a real thunderstorm. Who knows how long that will take? Lin Moyu put away the Thunder Light Purple Striped Tiger and retreated over 1,000 kilometers. He casually set up a 4th-level formation to hide his aura. He waited for the thunderstorm, multitasking by condensing the 4th Tao pattern and studying formation fusion. Chapter 2862, 2862. Chapter 2862, Why condensing Tao patterns isn't difficult at all. To others, one can only focus on one thing at a time. During cultivation, it's even difficult to pay attention to the outside world. But for Lin Moyu, multitasking feels as simple as eating or drinking. Back in the Great World, he discovered he had this ability. He could draw different runes with both hands simultaneously, or even create avatars to draw runes together. Lin Moyu himself doesn't even know the limit of his multitasking ability. Now, condensing Tao patterns and researching formations simultaneously poses no pressure for Lin Moyu. He even has the leisure to engage in simple conversations with the Human Emperor. From the Human Emperor, he learned that Yudao City has been developing smoothly recently, with everything proceeding methodically. The Human Emperor has organized most of the information Lin Moyu obtained and started classifying and analyzing it, which is a huge task requiring considerable time. Mainly, the Human Emperor's realm is somewhat lacking. If his realm were like Lulian's, the processing speed would be much faster. 30 days later, the 4th Tao pattern was condensed. According to the classification method of the God-slaying sect, Lin Moyu now qualifies as a direct disciple. However, Lin Moyu doesn't feel he's reached his limit and believes he still has plenty of capacity to continue condensing Tao patterns. 100 days later, the 5th Tao pattern was formed, and Lin Moyu still didn't feel he had reached his limit and could continue. The more Tao patterns there are, the higher the difficulty of condensing them, and the slower the speed. Lin Moyu deeply felt this. The speed indeed slowed down, but the difficulty seemed not to have increased much, just taking more time. The first pattern formed automatically, the second with the help of the Great Tao reward, the third took about 10 days, the fourth 20 days. The fifth took 70 days, and the sixth took a full 300 days. On the 400th day of being here, the 6th Tao pattern was finally successfully condensed. 6 Tao patterns shone brightly in his soul, each pattern filled with the rich power of the Great Tao, constantly interacting with the Great Tao. The power of the Great Tao emanated from the Tao patterns, casting a hazy glow over his entire body. His physical body bathed in the glow of the Great Tao, gradually transforming. Lin Moyu could clearly sense his body growing stronger. From the appearance of the 3rd Tao pattern, a magical connection formed between the patterns, making them like a whole, mutually amplifying and strengthening each other. The more Tao patterns, the greater the power of the patterns. This is exactly like the multi-star spell system. The whole formed by 6 Tao patterns makes each pattern at least twice as strong as the initial single Tao pattern. Lin Moyu felt he still had the capacity to continue condensing more Tao patterns. The power of the Great Tao was abundant, and Lin Moyu felt he was constantly bathed in the Great Tao. Were it not for the existence of the thousand-star Great Tao, he could now step into the Tao Sovereign realm, becoming an extremely powerful first-realm Tao Sovereign. In 400 days, he not only condensed Tao patterns but also made breakthroughs in the fusion of formations. Lin Moyu finally understood how to fuse formations. One by one, origin crystals flew out, quickly forming the simplest first-level device formation. Then Lin Moyu drew runes, creating a rune formation. This rune formation and device formation were almost identical in structure and of the same functional level. The only difference was that one was a rune formation, and the other a device formation. Then Lin Moyu fused the two formations, and unsurprisingly, they fused smoothly, as if naturally. At this moment, the formation was infinitely close to a natural formation. Lin Moyu sensed that after fusing two first-level formations, a new formation was formed, with greatly enhanced power, surpassing most second-level formations. Faintly, he saw a great Tao within the formation, a great Tao belonging to formations. 400 days of continuous insight, and I finally understand how to fuse formations. On the origin continent, formation masters who can perfectly fuse device and rune formations are few and far between. At least Senior Lu Fengqing hasn't achieved this. He's only at the first step, using runes to enhance formations, not yet achieving true formation fusion. Formation fusion requires setting up the same formation separately using device and rune methods, then fusing them. The two formations must be identical for a successful fusion. Any flaw will cause failure. This is Lin Moyu's advantage, as his strong spiritual sense allows him to set up perfectly identical formations, achieving perfect fusion. Lin Moyu exhaled deeply. He had Tao patterns and understood formation fusion. 400 days of cultivation and insight were not wasted. Next is to improve proficiency, a task requiring patience. Ultimately, he aims to multitask, setting up device and rune formations simultaneously, achieving fusion as the formation forms. In his soul world, he simulated repeatedly, constantly increasing proficiency. Condensing Tao patterns didn't stop, and the outline of the seventh Tao pattern was gradually forming. The seventh Tao pattern's condensation was increasingly slow, and Lin Moyu estimated it would take about 1,000 days to complete. On the 560th day of Lin Moyu's stay here, a wave of great Tao power silently spread. Lin Moyu immediately sensed the great Tao power and its source, the location of the Thunder Vault. The Thunder Vault contained great Tao power, which is why time reversal consumed so much soul power. The great Tao power was rich in thunder attributes, connecting heaven and earth, and the sky gradually darkened. A sudden wind arose, and clouds appeared out of nowhere, as if a downpour was imminent. In over 500 days, it had rained before, but never with great Tao power. The Thunder Vault is about to appear. Its own power is the key to opening it. No wonder external lightning had no effect. Lin Moyu put away the formation, suddenly sensing several powerful auras flying in from all directions, entering the ruins. Seeing these arriving Tao sovereigns, Lin Moyu recognized them from the time reversal. 5 demon Tao sovereigns and 5 human Tao sovereigns. They were here last time and have come again. Boom! With a clap of thunder, a torrential downpour fell. The rain was so heavy it seemed like the sky had collapsed, and it contained traces of great Tao power, enough to injure even a supreme. The rain turned into a waterfall, compressing visibility to less than 3 meters. Everything indicated that the vault was not simple. With the thunder, a faint light emerged from the ruins, and the Thunder Vault was slowly appearing. Lin Moyu walked into the rain, taking out an umbrella to shield himself. The umbrella was a heavenly sovereign-level treasure, quite powerful, now used just to keep dry. If others saw it, they would call it extravagant. At the center of the former ruins, where the Thunder Vault was located, space was gradually twisting, and the Thunder Vault was slowly revealing itself. There was still some time before it fully opened. On both sides, the 5 demon Tao sovereigns and human Tao sovereigns faced off across the vault. They watched each other warily, eyes full of caution. Footsteps sounded as Lin Moyu, holding an umbrella, walked through the rain. Chapter 2863, 2863. Chapter 2863, This way, there's a spot. The power of the great Tao in the rain suppressed perception. It wasn't until Lin Moyu got close that they sensed him. The 5 demon Tao sovereigns all wore unfriendly smiles, with a mix of mockery and killing intent, staring intently at Lin Moyu. The human Tao sovereigns also looked at Lin Moyu, but their gazes held no killing intent. Being of the same race, they wouldn't easily resort to violence. "Who are you?" What are you doing here? One of the Tao sovereigns asked sternly. Lin Moyu slightly cupped his fists. I wish to enter the Thunder Vault. He spoke plainly, without any pretense. As soon as he spoke, mocking laughter filled the air, full of disdain. The demon Tao sovereigns laughed loudly. This is one of your human fellows, you handle him. If you can't, we can help. The laughter was wild and arrogant, and it was clear what kind of help they meant. The human Tao sovereigns' expressions changed slightly. No need for your help, we can handle it ourselves. Then he turned to Lin Moyu. This vault only allows 10 people inside, and there's no spot for you. Another human Tao sovereign said, leave now, we're watching, and they won't do anything to you. Lin Moyu could sense their goodwill, even helping him. With 5 of them facing off against 5 demon Tao sovereigns, Lin Moyu could leave safely. Otherwise, a heavenly sovereign being targeted by demon Tao sovereigns would have no chance of survival. Lin Moyu didn't leave, only 10 spots. The human Tao sovereign nodded, yes, only 10, so you can't go in. Another Tao sovereign said, with your level, even if you went in, it would be a death sentence. Better not to go. Enough talk, leave quickly. The human Tao sovereigns urged Lin Moyu to leave, but he stood there like a pillar, unmoving. The demon Tao sovereigns chuckled cruelly, looks like this little guy doesn't plan to leave. If you can't persuade him, let us help. Lin Moyu suddenly moved, but not to leave. He walked towards the demon Tao sovereigns. Only 10 spots, is that so? Under the slightly surprised gaze of the demon Tao sovereigns, Lin Moyu lightly pointed a finger. The bone hell appeared silently, enveloping the 5. The eye of hell swept over them, and screams erupted as the 5 demon Tao sovereigns clutched their heads in agony. The intense soul impact rendered them unresponsive, drowning in endless pain. Magma surged, dragging them into the river of fire, where the hellish fiends pounced and bit. In the magma, flesh and blood flew, screams unending, and in an instant, the 5 were submerged in the river of fire. In just 2 seconds, Lin Moyu retracted the bone hell, and the 5 demon Tao sovereigns were gone. Lin Moyu turned back with a gentle smile, as if he had done something trivial. This way, there's a spot. The 5 human Tao sovereigns stared blankly at Lin Moyu, the disappearance of the demon Tao sovereigns confirming that what they saw wasn't an illusion. In the blink of an eye, 5 demon Tao sovereigns were gone. They were Tao sovereigns, even if only at the first realm, still Tao sovereigns. How could they just disappear? One human Tao sovereign murmured, what did you do? Lin Moyu replied, killed them and took a spot. He seemed not to believe it. They're all dead. Lin Moyu nodded, dead. Devoured by the bone hell, leaving no trace, truly dead and gone. The 5 human Tao sovereigns, upon knowing the truth, stood there in shock. A heavenly sovereign casually killing Tao sovereigns, and 5 at that. Is this really a heavenly sovereign? How could such a terrifying heavenly sovereign exist? Crack, lightning flashed across the sky, illuminating the scene for a moment. Lin Moyu stood in the rain with an umbrella, his smiling face lit by the lightning. This image fell into the eyes of the Tao sovereigns, giving them an inexplicable chill. After the lightning came the rumbling thunder. Amidst the thunder vault slowly emerged, becoming clearer. Lin Moyu said, seniors, could you tell me about the inside of the vault? If I need to purchase the information, I can pay. Lin Moyu's tone was calm, but to them, it felt entirely different. Someone immediately said, no need to buy, the information is here. He tossed a jade plaque over, his movements seemingly tense. Lin Moyu caught it and quickly reviewed it. There wasn't much information, taking only a few seconds to read. Lin Moyu said, thank you, seniors. I owe you one, and if there's a chance, I'll repay it. The man shook his head repeatedly, it's nothing, no need to repay. Lin Moyu smiled and said no more. Silence fell around them, with only the sound of the rain continuing. Lightning flashed again, thunder roared continuously. In the sky, lightning danced wildly, and after a moment, a bolt of lightning struck down, hitting the thunder vault. The thunder vault opened with a flash of lightning. A strong aura of the great Tao surged out from the vault, sweeping across the land. Lin Moyu smiled, the vault is open, you can go in now, seniors. This time it was the Tao sovereigns who stood still until Lin Moyu called again, and they finally reacted. Seeing this, Lin Moyu smiled gently, in that case, I'll go in first. I hope you find what you're looking for. Lin Moyu stepped into the vault, and after more than 10 seconds, the 5 Tao sovereigns entered. Their expressions were unnatural, as if they had witnessed something unbelievable, complex and hard to understand. Inside the vault, Lin Moyu appeared by a stream. The stream flowed along the mountains, and he was in a valley. Boom! Thunder roared, the sky filled with dark clouds, lightning illuminated the forest, followed by deafening thunder. In the distance, a thunderstorm had formed, lightning falling like raindrops, densely packed. He stood on the storm's outer edge, minimally affected. According to the information, everyone enters at the storm's outer edge, and the location is random, different for each person. The center of the vault is the center of the storm. To reach it, one must pass through the storm. The process seems simple, the destination marked, but the challenge is facing the thunder monsters along the way. The thunder monsters are numerous, powerful, and have no physical form, making them extremely difficult to kill. Being attacked by thunder monsters causes paralysis, which accumulates, eventually immobilizing the body. If lucky, holding a thunder stone will transport you outside the vault. If unlucky, without a thunder stone, the thunder monsters will kill you. The vault's rules are simple, favorable for Lin Moyu. Previous Dao sovereigns failed, unable to approach the storm, let alone reach its center. But for Lin Moyu, there was no simpler way. The skeleton generals flew out, clearing the path ahead. Chapter 2864, 2864. Chapter 2864, He's courting death again. The storm skeleton generals also emitted the aura of peak heavenly sovereigns, just one step away from Dao sovereigns. When Lin Moyu advanced to peak heavenly sovereign, the skeleton generals and Dragon Rider Legion, including the Legion commanders, did not advance to Dao sovereign. Their combat power increased, but they remained within the heavenly sovereign realm, just one step short of Dao sovereign. Only the skeleton kings reached the Dao sovereign realm when Lin Moyu advanced to high-level heavenly sovereign, and even produced a Dao pattern. Lin Moyu naturally understood why this was the case. There was a huge gap between the heavenly sovereign and Dao sovereign realms. The reason the skeleton kings could cross over was that they concentrated the power of all the undead. It could be said that it was the power of hundreds of billions of undead that allowed the skeleton kings to cross that chasm. The other undead could only rely on their own power, unable to cross this chasm. After reaching peak heavenly sovereign, the undead's power continued to increase, just one step short of Dao sovereign. Sometimes, Lin Moyu had a strange feeling, wondering what exactly counted as peak heavenly sovereign. If he was a peak heavenly sovereign, then what were the skeleton generals and legion commanders? Could the gap within peak heavenly sovereign be so large? Did he really reach true peak heavenly sovereign? Lin Moyu couldn't figure out this question before, but now he had the answer. The answer came from the Dao patterns. When he condensed the third Dao pattern, Lin Moyu felt he could see the path ahead clearly. When the sixth Dao pattern was condensed, the answer was fully revealed. He had indeed reached the traditional peak heavenly sovereign, but not the true peak heavenly sovereign. His realm had reached it, but not the limit. The Dao patterns gathered the power of the great Dao, radiating onto his physical body, causing it to change. After entering the heavenly sovereign realm, the rate of physical body enhancement had fallen far behind the speed of realm advancement. The true limit of heavenly sovereign was not just spiritual power, but also physical body. He had once walked the path of physical body sainthood, but had forgotten it at some point. This time, the appearance of Dao patterns made him pick it up again. Lin Moyu realized that in the era of the god-slaying sect, every Dao sovereign had a very powerful physical body. The existence of Dao patterns would continuously strengthen the physical body. But in the current era, people don't know how to use Dao patterns, so Dao sovereigns' physical bodies only naturally strengthen as their realms increase. Therefore, in this era, the vast majority of cultivators cannot reach the true limit of each realm. This means that cultivators in this era don't have a solid foundation. Building a tall structure on a weak foundation means the higher you go, the harder it becomes. Lin Moyu was now laying a solid foundation for himself, using this as a base to advance to higher levels. The skeleton generals cleared the way for Lin Moyu as he followed the stream towards the center of the thunderstorm. The stream flowed down from the mountain, its direction coinciding with the storm center. The eye of the undead didn't see any soul flames, proving there were no living beings ahead. Still alert, Lin Moyu didn't know what the so-called thunder monsters looked like, and they might not necessarily be living beings. Crack! The secret vault world suddenly lit up, countless electric snakes dancing in the sky. Then, a large amount of lightning fell, exploding less than 100 meters from Lin Moyu. The ground cracked, with large fissures blasted open. The lightning was dense, and within it, monsters of various shapes appeared in view. Thunder monsters. The eye of the undead showed no soul flames in the thunder monsters. These things weren't living beings, but monsters composed of great Tao power. Hundreds of thunder monsters appeared before him. These monsters weren't very high level, only at the high level heavenly sovereign standard. Lin Moyu knew that they were still quite far from the storm center. The closer to the center, the more powerful the thunder monsters would become. The skeleton generals charged towards the thunder monsters, their long swords sweeping out, unleashing pure white sword energy. The sword energy cut through the lightning, engulfing the thunder monsters. The thunder monsters exploded with a bang and disappeared. Lin Moyu's brow tightened slightly as his spiritual sense warned him. He quickly retreated while skeleton generals appeared in front of him. A thunder monster suddenly appeared in front of Lin Moyu, colliding head-on with the newly appeared skeleton general. Boom! Lightning exploded, and the skeleton general was blasted away, countless lightning bolts invading its body. The blasted skeleton general was completely paralyzed, falling to the ground unable to move. The sound of lightning explosions continued endlessly, with many skeleton generals being blasted away, falling into a paralyzed state, unable to move. The thunder monsters' attacks were suicidal. Each monster could only attack once. Lin Moyu could feel these skeleton generals being bound by the power of the Great Tao. Paralyzing opponents was one of the main abilities of the Thunder Great Tao. If this secret vault was artificially created, then its creator must be proficient in the Thunder Great Tao, and there might be related legacies here. If it formed naturally, there must be a treasure belonging to the Thunder Great Tao here. Either way, it made this secret vault extremely valuable. Lin Moyu hoped this would be a legacy site left by a Star Lord, which would have a Star Lord's legacy item, allowing him to complete the final link of his Star Great Tao. However, he also knew that this possibility was extremely small. Within the secret vault, he couldn't sense any power belonging to a Star Lord. Requesting flowers. One wave of thunder monsters incapacitated hundreds of skeleton generals, but Lin Moyu didn't mind. These skeleton generals were only temporarily immobilized and would recover soon. If nothing else, there were plenty of skeleton generals. He summoned another large group of skeleton generals to clear the path ahead. Walking over the ground blasted by lightning, the surface had completely cracked open, revealing many pits. Suddenly, Lin Moyu stopped. In one of the pits, he saw a stone. The stone was enveloped in lightning. With a thought, a skeleton general went to pick up the stone. The lightning on the stone didn't cause any harm to the skeleton general. Lin Moyu took the stone, and the lightning flowed over his palm like water, posing no threat. Thunderstone. Lin Moyu knew this was a thunderstone. Once attacked by thunder monsters and paralyzed, the thunderstone could take you out of the secret vault, serving as a life-saving artifact. Lin Moyu examined the thunderstone. A life-saving artifact, can it really only be used to save lives? Looking at the thunderstone in his palm, he had a vague feeling that its function wasn't limited to this. His soul power moved to envelop the thunderstone, which turned into a bolt of lightning and drilled into his palm. His palm felt a tingling sensation, but nothing else unusual. The thunderstone needed to be refined before it could exert its effect, otherwise, it was no different from an ordinary stone. Moreover, thunderstones weren't readily available. It depended on luck, and Lin Moyu's luck had always been good. His luck had already exceeded the range that the explosive luck technique could check, always above 100, which meant everything he did would become smoother. Continuing towards the storm center, after walking less than a kilometer, the sky again flashed with lightning and thunder, countless lightning bolts falling. Another batch of thunder monsters appeared, nearly double the number of the previous wave, but their power hadn't increased, still at the high-level heavenly sovereign level. This scene would be troublesome for heavenly sovereigns to deal with, but for Tao sovereigns, it was effortless. There were many ways to deal with thunder monsters, the simplest being to use treasures to block them. Tao sovereigns could easily block thunder monsters using their own great Tao. Lin Moyu had an idea, activating his undying golden body to directly face the thunder monsters. The thunder monsters dispersed into lightning, some charging towards the skeleton generals, some towards Lin Moyu. Lightning exploded, repeatedly pushing Lin Moyu back, but the power of the lightning was firmly blocked by the undying golden body, not affecting his physical body. In the next moment, Lin Moyu withdrew the undying golden body, not letting the undead army share the damage for him. He was courting death again. Chapter 2865, 2865. Chapter 2865. The physical body can also enter the Tao sovereign realm. Forcing himself to suppress the undying golden body, Lin Moyu used his pure physical body to confront the lightning. Though the undying golden body is strong, it is still a secret technique. As a secret technique, it has flaws and can be countered, even if the chances are slim. Only when the physical body is truly strong will there be no flaws. Moreover, the physical body is the foundation. As it strengthens, the undying golden body will also grow stronger. The Tao patterns radiate the power of the great Tao, enhancing the physical body, not the undying golden body. It was through the Tao patterns that Lin Moyu realized he had overlooked the essence. He remembered how, in the great world, he had repeatedly risked himself to strengthen his physical body, enduring immense pressure and trying every possible way. Now it's the same. He sees the thunder monsters as a great opportunity to enhance his physical body. The thunder monsters collided with his body, launching suicide attacks. The lightning exploded, and the great Tao power within pierced his body like countless needles, bringing both pain and numbness. Lin Moyu's body surged with energy, blood boiling, constantly resisting the lightning. The great Tao power in the lightning made it extremely difficult to resist with just the physical body. But Lin Moyu insisted on doing it. The difficulty of strengthening the physical body far surpasses advancing realms, but the harder it is, the more determined he is. He was repeatedly blasted back, the numbness growing stronger, his movements becoming stiff and slow. If his body became completely paralyzed, the great Tao power of the Thunder King would invade his soul world. At that point, the Thunder Stone would activate, taking him out. His blood surged, muscles rippling, creating a booming sound. With sheer physical strength, he struggled against the lightning. The enhancement of the physical body was slow and couldn't be rushed, only achieved step by step. Gradually, his body began to adapt to the lightning, the numbness slightly receding. His previously paralyzed body slowly regained movement, starting with his fingers, then his wrists. Through sheer willpower, Lin Moyu overcame the lightning. But it was fortunate that there was only one wave of thunder monsters. If they came continuously, he wouldn't withstand it. Strengthening the physical body requires finding the right intensity, neither too weak nor too strong. Too weak is useless, too strong is unbearable. A few minutes later, the numbness completely subsided, and Lin Moyu felt his physical body had strengthened slightly. Though not much, any improvement was good. Lin Moyu continued towards the storm, checking every pit in the lightning-battered area, but found no thunderstones this time. After walking about a kilometer, another wave of lightning struck amidst the thunder. This time, the number of thunder monsters didn't increase, but their power did, surpassing high-level heavenly sovereigns and reaching peak heavenly sovereign. Lin Moyu's gaze became serious. Though only a small realm apart, the difference was significant. I wonder if my body can withstand it. He prepared himself, with several skeleton generals behind him ready to shield him. The rest of the skeleton generals simultaneously unleashed sword energy to attack the thunder monsters. With hundreds of thunder monsters, Lin Moyu couldn't take them all on alone. The skeleton generals had to share the burden. The thunder monsters turned into lightning, launching suicide attacks, mostly hitting the skeleton generals, paralyzing them instantly. This time, it wasn't just paralysis. Their white bones were covered in cracks. The peak heavenly sovereign thunder monsters were enough to harm the skeleton generals. Lin Moyu braced himself, continuing to meet the impact with his body. Boom! He was blasted away, lightning coursing over him, intense numbness invading his body, and he lost control of it again. His blood continued to boil, resisting the lightning. With the previous experience, Lin Moyu had gained some skill, moving from a novice to a seasoned practitioner. Thunder monsters came one after another, and Lin Moyu lay motionless on the ground, taking them all. The numbness grew stronger, but he remained calm, continuing to resist. In the ongoing confrontation, his physical body grew stronger, gradually shifting from defense to offense until the lightning's power was exhausted. Lin Moyu slowly stood up, exhaling deeply, his body slightly stronger. The physical body is indeed getting stronger, even faster than with the double Tao pattern radiation. But if I continue, and the thunder monsters' power increases, I might not withstand it. If only there were more waves. Lin Moyu muttered to himself, unconsciously glancing back. The place where the thunder monsters appeared has recovered. He noticed that the area where the second wave of thunder monsters appeared, previously blasted into unevenness by the lightning, had unknowingly returned to normal. Thinking for a moment, Lin Moyu turned around, choosing to retrace his steps instead of continuing forward. When he returned to the previous thunder monster location, lightning fell again, and a large group of thunder monsters appeared. There were over 1,000, at the high-level heavenly sovereign level, just like before. Sure enough, it works. Lin Moyu smiled slightly, the situation exactly as he had imagined. In this secret vault, every 1,000 meters, a wave of thunder monsters would appear. The closer to the storm, the stronger the monsters. The locations where thunder monsters appeared were fixed, and if you returned after passing through, they would reappear. This rule was very similar to certain dungeons in the small world. Using his dungeon experience, Lin Moyu discovered this pattern. This way, he could use this pattern to continuously enhance his physical body with the thunder monsters. Dungeons, small secret realms, origin vaults, they all have some commonalities. Lin Moyu smiled, spreading his arms as if embracing a loved one, welcoming the charging thunder monsters. In the following time, he moved back and forth within this 1,000-meter range, continuously using the thunder monsters to train his body. Each time, the strength of his body increased slightly, accumulating over time, making him stronger. Half a day later, Lin Moyu could ignore the high-level heavenly sovereign thunder monsters. Without relying on any secret techniques or the undying golden body, he could ignore them with just his physical body. Only then did Lin Moyu continue forward. Besides strengthening his body, during this time, Lin Moyu also collected many thunder stones. Thunder stones didn't appear every time, about once every 3 waves. In half a day, Lin Moyu collected dozens of thunder stones, refining them all. Gradually, Lin Moyu noticed a phantom Dao pattern forming in his palm. Lin Moyu confirmed his suspicion thunder stones must have other uses besides saving lives. With the high-level heavenly sovereign thunder monsters no longer effective, Lin Moyu continued forward, moving back and forth where the peak heavenly sovereign thunder monsters appeared. At this point, his body was filled with surging blood, containing immense power. In half a day, Lin Moyu felt his body had more than doubled in strength. There are still many thunder monsters ahead. If this continues, my body could enter the Dao Sovereign Realm. Chapter 2866, 2866. Chapter 2866, The Sixth Great Dao, Breaking All with Force. In the third area where thunder monsters appeared, there were about 300 peak heavenly sovereign level thunder monsters. In the fourth area, also peak heavenly sovereign, the number reached 1,000. The fifth area was the same, but with even more, reaching 3,000. In these 3 areas where thunder monsters appeared, their power didn't change, the only difference was the number. Each wave had more thunder monsters, making it difficult for ordinary cultivators to handle. Especially in the fifth area, with 3,000 thunder monsters, even a Dao sovereign would struggle. Lin Moyu had lost count of how many times he had been here, not bothering to remember, only knowing he had walked back and forth between the fourth and fifth areas many times. Half a day later, his body had fully adapted to the impact of the peak heavenly sovereign thunder monsters. Letting the thunder monsters crash into him, the lightning exploded, but his body felt nothing. The peak heavenly sovereign thunder monsters were no longer effective, so Lin Moyu passed through the fifth refresh point, picking up a thunder stone along the way. Refining the thunder stone, the Dao pattern on his palm became clearer. Looking at the storm ahead, he had advanced 5 kilometers since entering the vault, now close to the storm. To be precise, he had reached the storm's edge. Up ahead, there will be Dao sovereign level thunder monsters. Those Dao sovereigns only reached the edge and couldn't enter the storm. Some powerful Dao sovereigns went in but never came out. At the storm's edge, there's a plant called thunder sword grass, which is what those Dao sovereigns came for. The information he had obtained recorded this. The 5 weren't here for the first time. Their goal wasn't the storm center, as they couldn't enter. They entered the thunder vault for the thunder sword grass growing at the storm's edge. Thunder sword grass is a Dao sovereign level material, useful for alchemy or crafting, with good effects. It only grows in areas covered by lightning. In the demon territory, there's a region constantly covered by lightning, with plenty of thunder sword grass. In the human territory, thunder sword grass is rare, making it valuable, especially high-grade thunder sword grass. After entering the vault, Lin Moyu realized there was no Star Lord legacy in the Thunder Vault. He had come with a "let it be" attitude, unexpectedly gaining the joy of strengthening his body under the thunder monster's attacks. Now, even if someone wanted him to leave, he wouldn't. After walking another kilometer to the storm's edge, the roar of thunder filled his ears. Endless lightning fell, striking the ground and creating pits. The ground constantly shattered and quickly recovered. Despite the countless years of lightning strikes, the ground still existed. The balance between destruction and recovery was perfect, representing the manifestation of illusion and reality, yin and yang, in Lin Moyu's eyes. He didn't enter but stood on the periphery, watching. He saw thunderstones appear on the lightning-struck ground. But such areas were small, with thunderstones appearing in only one out of thousands of lightning strikes and pits. The location and time of thunderstone appearance were random. Once they appeared, they would disappear as the ground recovered. Lin Moyu also saw thunder sword grass standing tall in the lightning, about half a meter high, sharp and shaped like an inverted short sword. Thunder sword grass absorbed the lightning's power, turning it into its nutrients. There was a lot of thunder sword grass, but it was scattered, each plant separated by some distance. Lin Moyu looked deeper into the lightning, where it was denser, blocking his view. Vaguely, he saw the shadow of thunder sword grass. The deeper thunder sword grass was of higher quality but harder to obtain. The closer to the storm center, the stronger the lightning. Once trapped, without a thunder stone, death was inevitable. To Lin Moyu, thunder stones were more valuable than thunder sword grass. There were no thunder monsters here, they only appeared after entering. After watching for a while, Lin Moyu stepped in. A bolt of lightning exploded beside him, the ground shattered, and a thunder monster appeared. The Dao Sovereign level thunder monster was much stronger than the previous ones, exuding astonishing power. After appearing, the thunder monster quickly locked onto Lin Moyu, launching a suicide attack. Lin Moyu abandoned the undying golden body, suppressing damage transfer, and took it head-on with his body. Intense numbness spread through him, paralyzing his body. His blood surged, roaring like thunder, fighting the numbness. Lin Moyu remained calm, having gained enough experience to use his blood to drive his body's power, washing away the numbness. Though the Dao Sovereign First Realm Thunder Monster is much stronger, it's still bearable. I wonder how strong the thunder monsters at the Storm Center will be. I hope they're stronger, so my body can improve more. Boom! Another bolt of lightning exploded beside him, a thunder monster crashing into Lin Moyu. The lightning shattered, and Lin Moyu only swayed slightly before withstanding it. The numbness that had just receded surged again, leaving him unable to move. His blood roared even more fiercely, even overpowering the thunder, his body's power pushed to the limit, a series of confrontations unfolding within him. Gradually, Lin Moyu's fingers moved, his body faintly glowing, his flesh and blood like jade and emerald. After standing still for a whole day, a powerful surge of blood erupted from Lin Moyu's body, shooting into the sky. The storm above was shaken several times by the impact, the thunder within 100 meters around Lin Moyu subsiding. His blood surged like a volcanic eruption, shooting into the sky, roaring louder than thunder, echoing endlessly. After a full minute, the blood returned to Lin Moyu's body. His body radiated a captivating glow, exuding the aura of the heavenly Tao. At this moment, it seemed Lin Moyu was the great Tao itself. So, the body has its own great Tao. The great Tao of strength, breaking all with force. This is an illusory great Tao, even more illusory than illusion, seemingly existing yet not. Unexpectedly, breaking through with the body brought the sixth great Tao. The great Tao of strength is also a complete great Tao. It doesn't have the mysterious effects of the luck great Tao, its illusion lies in its essence of power. In the face of the great Tao of strength, anything can be broken by force. As long as the power is strong enough, space, time, spells, secret techniques, even soul attacks, can be shattered. The great Tao of strength is an extremely powerful great Tao. Lin Moyu didn't expect that by enhancing his body's realm, he would inadvertently gain the great Tao of strength. Moreover, the greatest benefit of the great Tao of strength is that it doesn't require comprehension. Just continuously enhancing the body and one's realm is enough. It's a simple yet extremely difficult special great Tao. Chapter 2867, 2867. Chapter 2867. After all, I am still just a heavenly sovereign. At the edge of the thunder vault, lightning fell densely. The thunder roared incessantly, echoing continuously. If a supreme were to come here, just the sound of the thunder would be overwhelming. Especially where the thunder sword grass grew, the lightning was incredibly dense. A Dao sovereign was advancing towards a stalk of thunder sword grass, with lightning constantly exploding around him, and thunder monsters emerging from the lightning to crash into him. He was enveloped in a protective treasure, its light flowing like water, forming a sturdy defense against the thunder monster's impact. However, some of the lightning's power still seeped through, slowing his movements with each impact. With each collision, he slowly approached the thunder sword grass. The closer he got, the more lightning there was, and the more thunder monsters appeared, further slowing his progress. The protective light gradually weakened, and it was clear he was struggling. The thunder sword grass was within reach, almost his. This stalk of thunder sword grass was of good quality and could fetch a high price, enough to exchange for a large amount of origin crystals. Not every Dao sovereign is wealthy. Many from 5-star forces don't have abundant resources. His movements grew slower, the protective light weakening, but fortunately, he was only a step away from the thunder sword grass. Suddenly, he saw an unbelievable sight, freezing in place as if his mind had stopped working. A person was walking through the lightning. Thunder monsters crashed into him, yet he was unaffected. He wasn't using any treasures, secret techniques, or spells. He blocked them purely with his physical body. Can it be done like this? Is he even human? What kind of physical body can achieve this? In the lightning, he saw the person who had instantly killed 5 demon Dao sovereigns, that fierce heavenly sovereign. He's that strong. How is that possible? He needed a treasure to fend off the thunder monsters, yet for him, it was child's play. Stunned, his mind was in chaos, unable to comprehend. Lin Moyu strolled through the lightning, bending down as if picking something up, then continued walking. Is he picking up thunderstones? Why pick up thunderstones? In his confusion, the protective light suddenly shattered. Not good. His expression changed drastically. His momentary distraction had caused his protective treasure to break. Without the protective treasure, the monsters crashed directly into him. The thunder monsters wouldn't give him a chance before he could react, they had already struck him. Boom! The lightning exploded, and he was instantly paralyzed. The thunder sword grass was right in front of him, but his body couldn't move. Lightning fell, and more thunder monsters crashed into him, the paralysis growing stronger. In just 2 seconds, he was immobilized, unable to move anything but his eyes. Though he knew he wouldn't die, the thunder sword grass was slipping away. The paralysis spread through his body, quickly reaching his soul world, and he knew the thunder stone would soon activate, sending him out of the vault. Suddenly, his vision blurred, and the incoming thunder monster was blocked by someone. That terrifying heavenly sovereign suddenly appeared before him, smiling gently. "Senior, what a pity, just a little short. Since we've met, let me help you this once." The heavenly sovereign spoke kindly, then reached out to pick the thunder sword grass and placed it in his hand. The thunder monster charged, the paralysis reached his soul world, and the thunder stone activated. Lin Moyu watched him get sent out of the vault, as if it were a trivial matter, then turned back to his own tasks. The thunder monsters at the edge of the storm no longer affected him, and Lin Moyu was collecting thunder stones. The Dao pattern in his palm was becoming more distinct, nearing completion. Lin Moyu didn't know what awaited inside the storm, so he didn't enter yet, choosing to collect enough thunder stones outside first. This vault wasn't urgent. He could explore it slowly. He encountered the other Dao sovereigns, who all looked shocked upon seeing Lin Moyu. They struggled through the lightning, using treasures and taking risks for a few thunder sword grass, while Lin Moyu walked casually, as if strolling through a garden. If Lin Moyu ventured deeper into the storm, those high-grade thunder sword grass would be within easy reach. They were envious. Those high-grade thunder sword grass deep inside were only dreams for them. Lin Moyu circled the storm, collecting many thunder stones. He found fewer thunder stones, the efficiency dropping sharply. It seems to be guiding me inward. Well, I've collected enough. It's time to see inside. The Dao pattern in his palm was about 80% complete. Just as Lin Moyu was about to head deeper, a voice called from behind, "Friend, it's dangerous inside." Lin Moyu paused and turned. One of the 5 Dao sovereigns waved at him. He was protected by a treasure, standing in a relatively sparse area of lightning. They had been here several times and had some experience. Lin Moyu quickly approached him, speaking warmly, "Senior, could you tell me more?" Lin Moyu's respectful address startled the Dao sovereign. No, don't call me senior, just call me friend. My name is Zhang Ruobei." Zhang Ruobei, Lin Moyu murmured, noting his resemblance to Zhang Ruozu. Not only did he resemble Zhang Ruozu, but the five of them shared similarities, likely from the same family. Zhang Ruobei felt uncomfortable under Lin Moyu's gaze and couldn't help asking, "Friend, is there something wrong with me?" Lin Moyu asked, "Are you from the Zhang family of Floating City?" Zhang Ruobei instinctively nodded. "How did you know?" Lin Moyu said, "I once met Miss Zhang Ruozu, and you look somewhat alike, and both share the surname Zhang." Zhang Ruobei realized, "I see, so you're acquainted with Ruozu." Lin Moyu smiled, "You mentioned danger inside, could you elaborate?" Zhang Ruobei quickly explained, "We've seen several seniors above the Dao Sovereign Fourth Realm enter the deepest part, but none have returned. Not only humans, but demons also went in, including the Thunder Light Purple Striped Tiger clan, and even they didn't return. Though you're strong, friend." Lin Moyu finished for him, "After all, I'm still just a heavenly sovereign, right?" Zhang Ruobei quickly said, "No offense, just a suggestion." Lin Moyu smiled, "No problem, anything else?" Zhang Ruobei added, "There was a great battle after a human Dao Sovereign Fourth Realm Senior went in. We heard a spirit beast's roar, strange and sharp, piercing the soul." Lin Moyu thought for a moment, "Understood, thank you, Zhang. If you five wait outside after leaving the vault, I might bring back some thunder sword grass for you." With that, Lin Moyu turned and headed deeper. Chapter 2868, 2868. Chapter 2868, The True Secret Vault, Half a Divine Pet. As Lin Moyu gradually moved toward the storm's interior, with lightning everywhere, he noticed that the thunder monsters had disappeared. After leaving the storm's edge, the thunder monsters were gone. They were replaced by even more terrifying lightning. The lightning struck directly, without any warning, with stronger impact and more intense paralysis. The great Dao power within the lightning was extremely dense, far more powerful than that of the thunder monsters. Thunder monsters had a process from formation to attack, giving some preparation time, but now the lightning struck without warning, leaving no time to prepare. Each lightning strike stunned Lin Moyu for several seconds. His blood pushed the power of the great Dao, quickly dissipating the paralysis brought by the lightning, and he continued forward. The strength of the great Dao of strength was gradually revealing itself. The mysterious power of the great Dao of strength, combined with luck, silently neutralized the invading lightning. Breaking all with one force was not only evident in attack but also now. Any spell or power, when faced with the great Dao of strength, would be weakened and neutralized. The great Dao of strength was not just an attack-type great Dao, it was both offensive and defensive, with almost no weaknesses. The great Dao of strength didn't rely solely on physical power, it also gathered strength from realms, spells, and various powers. As long as the power was strong enough, breaking all with one force wasn't just talk. Lin Moyu continued to adapt to the lightning, moving in circles while collecting thunder stones, and when he encountered thunder sword grass, he picked it up. Although thunder sword grass was useless to him, it was still valuable when obtained for free. Through repeated adaptation, his physical level continued to increase, gradually advancing toward the Dao Sovereign Second Realm. As Lin Moyu got closer to the storm's center, the lightning became denser. Unconsciously, his physical level reached the Dao Sovereign Second Realm and began moving toward the Dao Sovereign Third Realm. Progress slowed, no longer advancing as boldly as before. The method of improving the great Dao of strength was simple but also difficult. The difficulty lay in the later stages, where progress would slow. The same stimulus over time would create an immunity-like effect. Lin Moyu was now experiencing this after reaching the Dao Sovereign Second Realm. The lightning no longer affected him. Even if the lightning grew stronger, his body was accustomed, and its effect diminished. Lin Moyu knew that relying solely on the lightning in the vault couldn't push his body to the third realm. Though it was ineffective, Lin Moyu continued walking through the lightning, not rushing into the storm's center. He hadn't fully collected the thunder stones, and the Dao pattern in his palm was over 90% complete, just a little more to go. The thunder stones have exceeded 900. It seems I need exactly 1000 thunder stones to complete the Dao pattern. What is the purpose of this Dao pattern? The uses of Dao patterns are endless, but only the creator knows their true purpose. Like the Dao patterns Lin Moyu condensed, he could integrate them with any spell, treasure, or even formation, and the final effect would vary. Just by looking at the Dao pattern's surface, nothing could be discerned. Lin Moyu collected and refined the thunder stones amidst the lightning. He completely ignored the lightning. It felt like rain hitting him, with no sensation. Finally, with 1,000 thunder stones collected, the Tao pattern in his palm was complete. Lin Moyu looked at it and felt a peculiar power from the Tao pattern, though not strong. The Tao pattern in his palm released a faint power, pointing toward the storm's center, as if guiding Lin Moyu. Following it, Lin Moyu walked toward the storm's center. Moments later, the lightning ahead suddenly thinned, becoming less frequent. Lin Moyu realized he had entered the eye of the storm. In the storm's center, there was no lightning, but it was filled with dense heavenly Tao power. The storm's power originated here. Roar. A roar echoed from the storm's eye, sounding like a warning, filled with cruelty. As Zhang Ruobei had said, there was a spirit beast in the storm's center. The roar filled Lin Moyu's heart with intense disgust. It was a soul-level, great Tao-originated disgust. Lin Moyu frowned slightly. Extraterrestrial god. This disgust seemed to target only the extraterrestrial gods. The spirit beast in the storm's center was related to the extraterrestrial gods. Another divine pet, Lin Moyu muttered, stepping inside. In the storm's eye, the atmosphere was calm, with no lightning falling, only the pervasive great Tao power. Lin Moyu walked for a while, following the Tao pattern in his palm, and finally saw the source of the disgust. A divine pet was bound by massive lightning chains, staring coldly at him. The chains of lightning formed a cage, firmly trapping it. Unexpectedly, the center of the thunder vault holds a divine pet. No, it's not a whole one, just half. Lin Moyu saw that the divine pet's body was cut in half, with only one half visible. The divine pet resembled a lizard, likely with 4 legs, but now only 2 remained, the other half missing. Looking past the divine pet, Lin Moyu saw a hazy space behind it, shimmering like a curtain. Within the hazy space, a Tao pattern appeared and disappeared. Seeing this, Lin Moyu finally understood, his previous confusion suddenly clear. The Tao pattern obtained from the thunder stones was indeed a key to unlocking the true secret vault. The thunder vault was divided into 2 layers, and what he saw was only the outer layer. To enter the inner layer, 2 conditions must be met: collecting enough thunder stones to form a complete Tao pattern and killing the half-divine pet before him. This half-divine pet had become the guardian of the vault, and only by killing it could one truly enter the vault. The true thunder vault must be very dangerous. If even this half-divine pet couldn't be killed, going inside would be a death sentence. This half-divine pet's aura was only around the Tao sovereign 4th realm. But divine pets have unique traits, like the one he killed last time, which required the power of illusion to deal with. He didn't know how to kill this one. Lin Moyu carefully observed the divine pet, missing no detail. The lightning chains bound it tightly, with lightning occasionally surging through, exploding on it. Every time the lightning exploded, its movements would pause, clearly affected by the lightning, similar to how Lin Moyu was paralyzed by lightning. The lightning's power was strong, at least reaching the Tao sovereign 4th realm, yet it couldn't harm the divine pet, indicating its strong defense. The divine pet's body was covered in dense scales, shimmering with silver light, their tips sharp like arrows. Lin Moyu realized this might be the divine pet's attack method. The divine pet's gaze was venomous, fixed on Lin Moyu, and if not for the chains, it would have attacked. Let's test it first. After observing for a while and finding no weakness, he decided to try. With a thought, the great sword Tao sovereign appeared beside him, slashing down with a sword. Chapter 2869, 2869. Chapter 2869, can injure but not kill. The great sword Tao sovereign, a solid Tao sovereign 6th realm expert, especially after becoming a resurrected being, stood at the forefront of the Tao sovereign 6th realm in terms of power. His attack, even if not full force, far exceeded the Tao sovereign 4th realm. The divine pet looked at the descending sharp sword with a sinister gaze, showing a hint of disdain in its eyes. It lay there motionless, seemingly casually enduring the great sword Tao sovereign's attack. Boom! With a loud noise, the sword force condensed by the great sword Tao sovereign shattered on the spot. The divine pet looked at Lin Moyu, its disdainful gaze now carrying a hint of ridicule, mocking Lin Moyu's lack of strength. An attack from a Tao sovereign 6th realm can't hurt it. It seems this creature's defense is indeed strong. If that's the case, let's see if the power of illusion works. Lin Moyu used the previous method to deal with the divine pet, condensing the sword of luck. The luck-great Tao appeared, with the hazy power of illusion spreading around. The divine pet, which had been lying there full of disdain, suddenly bristled, its fine scales standing on end. Lin Moyu smiled, looks like you're afraid of the power of illusion too. Roar. The divine pet roared, its roar turning into sound waves that stirred the space, sweeping over like waves. The sound wave attack was extremely strong, enough to injure even a Dao Sovereign Fourth Realm expert. The Great Sword Dao Sovereign stepped forward, blocking the sound waves for Lin Moyu. At that moment, the lightning chain suddenly erupted, the lightning exploding, and the divine pet's roar was abruptly cut off, leaving it paralyzed. The sword of luck flew out at this moment, silently landing on the divine pet, piercing it like tofu. A second later, a scream echoed. The divine pet, recovering from paralysis, roared angrily, its eyes fixed on Lin Moyu with murderous intent. The sword of luck had hurt it, not physically, but it was very uncomfortable. Lin Moyu didn't care, controlling the sword of luck to strike twice more. The divine pet roared repeatedly, appearing furious. But Lin Moyu ignored it no matter how loud it roared, it was useless. The divine pet's body emitted a huge force, its scales standing up, shooting out sharply. The scales were extremely sharp, coming like a storm. The great sword Dao Sovereign swung both hands, forming 6 giant swords that turned into a sword shield to block the scales. The scales hitting the sword shield made a piercing sound, and cracks appeared on the giant sword formed by the great sword Dao Sovereign. Lin Moyu observed, its attack power is close to the Dao Sovereign's 7th realm, how fierce. Half of the divine pet was severely injured, its power greatly weakened, its aura at the Dao Sovereign 4th realm, yet it could unleash attacks close to the Dao Sovereign 7th realm. Clearly, at full strength, its power must have exceeded the Dao Sovereign 7th realm. Extraterrestrial gods are strong, and their divine pets aren't weak either. And whoever could trap the divine pet and use it as a guardian beast must be even stronger. It's quite strong, no wonder previous Dao Sovereign 4th realms died here. But the divine pet is chained. If those Dao Sovereigns didn't want to fight, they could have left, so why didn't they? Could it be the great Dao's aversion made them choose to fight to the death? Lin Moyu thought this unlikely, suggesting the divine pet must have other tricks. The divine pet's scale attack was blocked by the great sword Dao Sovereign, but the scales didn't disappear. It glowed all over, its roar continuous. The sound has changed. The roar suddenly changed, forming a peculiar rhythm, rising and falling, like a melody. The soul world suddenly shook, influenced by some power, giving rise to thoughts of approaching the divine pet. The 10-colored dragon soul crystal emitted a dragon's roar, instantly restoring the soul to normal. Bewitchment. Lin Moyu was startled. The roar entered the soul world, bewitching the soul. This situation was somewhat similar to the Buddhist clan's conversion. But in his soul world, with the 10-colored dragon soul crystal and the world tree, ordinary bewitchment had no effect. No wonder those Dao Sovereigns didn't escape, they were bewitched. This creature can't rush over but can lure others in. Bewitchment plus scales are enough to kill cultivators below the Dao Sovereign's 6th realm. Let's try the great Dao of Strength's power to break all laws. Lin Moyu's mind moved, his blood igniting in an instant. His blood roared, surging like a fountain, stirring the wind and clouds, whistling. In an instant, the divine pet's roar was completely neutralized. The blood contained the great Dao of Strength, which broke all laws, blocking the divine pet's bewitchment. At this moment, the great Dao of Strength wasn't very high level, and his body was only at the Dao Sovereign's 2nd realm. But even so, it could resist the divine pet's bewitchment, breaking all laws, very powerful. Seeing Lin Moyu unaffected by the bewitchment, the divine pet was puzzled. Lin Moyu was unaffected, and neither was the great sword Dao Sovereign. The great sword Dao Sovereign only obeyed Lin Moyu, so all bewitchment was useless against it. Lin Moyu sneered, condensing the sword of luck again, striking 3 more times. The 3 strikes made the divine pet scream repeatedly. Then he condensed the sword of luck again, striking 3 more times. 9 consecutive strikes greatly weakened the divine pet's luck. Though it seemed unharmed, its luck was significantly reduced. Then the 4th sword of luck was condensed, turning into a poisonous sword. The inky black poisonous sword landed on the divine pet, further weakening its already diminished luck. As its luck weakened, Lin Moyu felt its power declining. The scales could no longer threaten the great sword Dao Sovereign, with its attack power dropping to around the Dao Sovereign 5th realm. With weakened luck, everything it did was ineffective, and everything would be affected. The divine pet, bound by the lightning chains, couldn't move, roaring angrily. Lin Moyu sensed the divine pet's luck, and seconds later, felt it had dropped as low as possible. The explosive luck technique suddenly activated, and the divine pet's body exploded, bursting with countless bloody wounds, blood gushing. The divine pet's aura rapidly weakened, dropping to around the Tao Sovereign's second realm. At this moment, the great sword Tao Sovereign swung another sword, and the divine pet weakly cried out, all its scales returning to its body. Its head retracted, not dodging, using its scales to block the attack. Clang! The great sword struck the scales, making a clear sound. The divine pet only trembled slightly, unhurt. The scales were too strong, rendering the great sword Tao Sovereign's attack ineffective. The divine pet glowed faintly, its aura quickly recovering. Lin Moyu realized the divine pet had incredible recovery power. Though he had injured it, it wasn't fatal. Given time, it could recover. The explosive luck technique couldn't deliver a killing blow, and it couldn't be used consecutively, requiring intervals between uses. This is a bit troublesome. Lin Moyu pondered. He could injure the divine pet but couldn't kill it. The divine pet curled up, occasionally growling, its aura recovering rapidly. Chapter 2870, 2870. Chapter 2870, The Sublimated Explosive Luck Technique. Can injure, but can't kill. Lin Moyu was a bit troubled. He thought of a few methods that might solve the current problem. For example, using the Great Tao's Immortal Pill to forcibly enhance his strength to the Tao Sovereign 7th, 8th, or even 9th realm. Then, combined with the explosive luck technique, he might be able to kill the divine pet while it's injured. This is similar to how the cold 9-star lord couldn't hurt the divine pet before, but after it was severely injured and its realm dropped drastically, it could be killed by the cold 9-star lord. There are many ways to kill a divine pet, and a significant realm gap is one of them. The power of illusion is also a method to kill them. Besides that, there must be other methods, but Lin Moyu doesn't know them yet. However, Lin Moyu doesn't want to use the Great Tao's Immortal Pill. He only has 3, and using them on this creature isn't worth it. Unless there's no other way, Lin Moyu doesn't want to use the Great Tao's Immortal Pill. Lin Moyu thought for a moment, his eyes slightly brightening, maybe I can try this. He retreated to the edge of the storm's eye and summoned Zhao Dongsheng. He had the great sword Tao Sovereign and Zhao Dongsheng protect him while he sat cross-legged, focusing his mind into his soul world. Within his soul, 6 Tao patterns glowed brightly. One of the Tao patterns had already turned into the luck simulation rune, different from the other 5. Lin Moyu pondered the details of the explosive luck technique, aiming to sublimate it by integrating it with the Tao pattern, allowing it to ignite luck. Previously, it only ignited fortune, which, although belonging to the power of illusion, is just a letter away from luck. But that single letter difference meant the explosive luck technique was a level lower. He had previously thought about sublimating the explosive luck technique, and now he could try. If successful, integrating it with the Tao pattern, the explosive luck technique could ignite luck, greatly enhancing its power. This would elevate the practicality of the luck Great Tao to a new level. The luck Great Tao is mysterious and powerful, and he has only seen the tip of the iceberg. Continuous exploration is needed to truly harness its power. Lin Moyu continuously comprehended the explosive luck technique, deconstructing it and verifying it with his understanding of the luck Great Tao. Step by step, he analyzed and sublimated the explosive luck technique. Lin Moyu was patient, taking his time. He knew he would succeed, but whether he could kill the divine pet afterward was uncertain. Regardless, he had to try. In just an hour, the divine pet, with its incredible recovery ability, returned to its peak state. It opened its eyes, looking at Lin Moyu in the distance, a hint of confusion in its gaze, as if to say, what is this guy doing? Lin Moyu sat there motionless, with 2 protectors beside him, also unmoving. The divine pet let out a sharp roar, the sound waves rushing forward, but before reaching Lin Moyu, they were blocked, leaving him still. Sharp scales flew out again, rushing like a storm. The great sword Tao Sovereign and Zhao Dongsheng blocked them together, still not affecting Lin Moyu. After a few attempts, the divine pet seemed tired and lay down in confusion. The scene became strange, with only the sound of thunder, the storm's eye was eerily quiet. This time, Lin Moyu didn't multitask. He focused entirely on sublimating the explosive luck technique. Without any special insight, he relied on his understanding of the Great Tao to forcibly elevate the explosive luck technique to a higher level. His soul raised a hand, beginning to draw runes. Using the luck Great Tao as ink, he expressed the explosive luck technique in rune form. He abandoned the function of checking luck values, retaining only the ability to ignite luck, simplifying it. Even so, the rune remained incredibly complex, with multiple layers, each interlocking. Lin Moyu drew slowly and carefully. To him, this rune's difficulty was no less than a 7th-level formation, perhaps even more challenging. The entire drawing process took 3 hours, making it the most complex rune Lin Moyu had ever created. If not for his incredible control over runes, he couldn't have drawn it. The rune flickered in the soul world, as if telling the world it was composed of the noble power of illusion. After completing the rune, his soul took a deep breath, absorbing it. A Tao pattern was ready, merging with the rune. The Tao pattern shone, the luck great Tao naturally appearing, with infinite great Tao power flowing into the pattern. The pattern's lines became more intricate, increasingly mysterious, and its contained power rapidly increased. The 6 Tao patterns glowed, resonating, interlinking, and enhancing each other's power. Lin Moyu sensed the Tao pattern, knowing his idea had succeeded. The explosive luck technique had been sublimated and integrated with the Tao pattern. He only needed to activate the Tao pattern to use the explosive luck technique, now igniting luck instead of fortune. Needless to say, the power would be greatly enhanced. His soul felt the passage of time, knowing 30 hours had passed. His speed was fast enough, yet it still took a lot of time. After more than a day, Lin Moyu slowly opened his eyes, looking at the divine pet again. The divine pet suddenly felt a chill. Lin Moyu's gaze made it uneasy. Lin Moyu smiled, forming a sword of luck. As before, the sword of luck struck 3 times, weakening the divine pet's luck. This time, the divine pet was displeased but didn't react. It had already experienced this once, resulting in injury, but it recovered. Doing it again would yield the same result, so what's the point? It could just recover again. Lin Moyu found that the luck poison wasn't very effective on the divine pet, both last time and this time, not as good as directly slashing with the sword of luck. He didn't dwell on it, slashing 9 times before activating the explosive luck technique Tao pattern. The explosive luck technique Tao pattern activated, and Lin Moyu felt his luck surge, accompanied by dragon roars. The explosive luck technique elevated his luck to the extreme, maximizing the gap with the divine pet's luck, enhancing the technique's power. In an instant, the divine pet sensed danger but couldn't pinpoint it. It growled uneasily, watching Lin Moyu warily. Boom! An explosion erupted, the divine pet suddenly bursting apart, shattering into countless pieces. The divine pet was killed, very decisively. Lin Moyu was momentarily stunned, as the power that great. He hadn't expected the sublimated explosive luck technique to be so powerful. It directly killed the divine pet, with unexpectedly good results. If this hadn't worked, Lin Moyu planned to use the great Tao's immortal pill. Now it seemed he saved one. The eye of the undead scanned the surroundings, confirming the divine pet was truly dead, and Lin Moyu breathed a sigh of relief. The lightning chains lost their target, falling to the ground motionless. The shattered flesh was turning into black smoke and disappearing. Divine pets are despised by the great Tao, and their corpses can't remain, being purified. Lin Moyu sighed, the great Tao's reward should come now. Chapter 2871, 2871. Chapter 2870, Great Tao Reward, Battle King Star Lord. After waiting for a moment, the power of the great Tao descended, and several great Taos appeared. The Undying Tao, Time Tao, Space Tao, Thousand Star Tao, Luck Tao, and Power Tao. 6 great Taos appeared simultaneously. Among them, the Undying Tao and the Thousand Star Tao belong to the real type. The Luck Tao and Power Tao belong to the illusory type. The Time and Space Taos are between reality and illusion. This time, he killed the divine pet alone, even if it was only half, he did it by himself. The great Tao reward doesn't need to be shared. One person can receive all the rewards, and the reward scale should be larger than before. I wonder what the great Tao reward will be this time. The last great Tao reward was all insights, but now his situation is somewhat special. The Thousand Star Tao is still lacking, and he doesn't want to abandon the Thousand Star Tao to ascend to Tao Sovereign. Although it can be remedied later, Lin Moyu feels that this is not good. If only I could directly receive some Star Lord inheritance items. Lin Moyu felt that this idea was somewhat far-fetched and obviously unrealistic. Moreover, the great Tao reward is not something you can choose. You can only passively accept whatever is given. So, everything depends on luck. Luck. Lin Moyu suddenly realized that if he could enhance his luck, could it influence the great Tao reward? Although he knew the possibility was small, it wouldn't hurt to try, as there would be no loss. While the great Tao reward had not fully arrived, Lin Moyu silently used the luck Tao to enhance his luck. Luck is a higher level than fortune. The stronger the luck, the stronger the fortune. After Lin Moyu did all this, the great Tao reward suddenly descended. Lin Moyu's vision blurred, and he found himself in a strange environment. All around was pitch black, seemingly empty. There was no insight appearing, and Lin Moyu was puzzled about what the reward would be, as it seemed very mysterious. Then, a point of light appeared in his vision. In the dark world, a light point suddenly appeared, naturally attracting Lin Moyu's attention. This light point was very distant, as if separated by millions of miles, and Lin Moyu could barely see it with his eyesight. Lin Moyu instantly recognized the true identity of the light point. It was a star. Then, a second light point, a third light point. One light point after another appeared, each a star. The light points varied in strength and brightness, but without exception, they were all ancient. Although separated by infinite distance, the ancient and vast aura still passed through without hindrance. Lin Moyu, comprehending the time Tao, was very sensitive to this time-laden aura. The ancientness of these stars far exceeded the traceable range in the historical records of the origin continent. Lin Moyu suddenly had a thought: these stars are prehistoric. He had once seen the star world on the origin continent, seen the great Tao, and seen the stars. Those stars didn't give him this kind of feeling. This indicated that the appearance of stars also had a chronological order. Thousands of stars appeared in his vision, and then these stars enlarged in his view. Lin Moyu realized that it wasn't the stars that grew larger, but the distance between him and the stars that was closing. As the distance to the stars grew closer, waves of peculiar aura rushed over. Each star contained a different aura, with its unique attributes and power, each star an independent entity, yet they all existed in the same space. Lin Moyu had a sudden insight, realizing where he was. He was inside the thousand-star Tao. Lin Moyu never expected that this great Tao reward would bring his consciousness into the thousand-star Tao. At this moment, a hazy figure appeared before Lin Moyu. The figure's appearance was unclear, only a hazy light could be seen. But this hazy light shocked Lin Moyu. The light emitted an astonishingly noble aura, the noblest existence Lin Moyu had ever seen. It seemed to be high above, overlooking all beings. In its presence, all living beings would feel their insignificance. Could it be the Tao Master of the planetary Tao? Lin Moyu speculated wildly, unable to guess the identity of the other party. A low murmuring voice came from the light, deep and as if someone was speaking. The murmur seemed to come from a distant time and space, ethereal and elusive. Then the murmur reached Lin Moyu's ears, and he heard the voice clearly. Star Lords have fallen, the thousand-star Tao is asleep. The great Tao is reviving, selecting Star Lords. Lin Moyu was suddenly startled, understanding what was happening. In a past battle, most of the Star Lords in the thousand-star Tao fell, and even the thousand-star Tao fell into slumber. After the Star Lords died, most stars returned to the thousand-star Tao, sleeping with it. Only a few stars, whose Star Lords hadn't died, continued the Star Lord legacy. Unfortunately, without the support of the great Tao, the strongest Star Lords were only comparable to the Tao sovereign realm, and no Star Lords could enter the great Tao realm. The thousand in the thousand-star Tao doesn't mean 1 or 2,000 but is infinite. Those stars that slept with the thousand-star Tao also revived with it. They will shine again, radiant. And as the one who awakened the thousand-star Tao, Lin Moyu had become its sole master. He had the qualification to awaken those stars sleeping in the thousand-star Tao, select suitable inheritors for them, and restore them to the position of Star Lords. But to awaken them, immense power is needed, not just words. Now, with the help of the great Tao reward, Lin Moyu had the opportunity to awaken them. After understanding everything, Lin Moyu realized he had been wrong before. He didn't need to seek Star Lord legacy items externally, he could find them within the great Tao. Countless stars shone before him, and he could choose a few to revive. Then he could find suitable inheritors for them, allowing them to become Star Lords again. As for those Star Lords who hadn't slept, they were a small part, dispensable. If any Star Lords now wanted to truly enter the great Tao realm, they would have to seek Lin Moyu's consent. Although he wasn't a Tao Master yet, he already had some of the Tao Master's authority. The stars before him flickered, some strong, some weak, and Lin Moyu didn't know how many stars he could revive. But he knew that the stronger the stars revived, the more great Tao reward would be consumed. After careful sensing, Lin Moyu chose one of the stars. This star was strong, ancient, and vast, one of the top stars among all. With Lin Moyu's consciousness, a light appeared out of thin air, falling onto the star. The originally sleeping star was instantly activated, emitting a strong light. As the star revived, Lin Moyu received information about it. Battle King Star Lord, rank 3rd. This star was named Battle King Star Lord, rank 3rd among all Star Lords. Lin Moyu thought to himself, I wonder how it compares to the current 28 Star Lords, which is stronger or weaker. The Battle King Star shone brightly, growing brighter, its light covering the entire vision, then exploded with a roar. Chapter 2872, 2872. Chapter 2872, Secret Inside, Extraterrestrial God. Lin Moyu's vision was blank, with light occupying his entire view. It was bright but not blinding. He even felt a sense of intimacy, as if it were his own child expressing affection. Lin Moyu had experienced this feeling more than once, with the World Tree, Infinite Fusion and even the 10-color Dragon Soul Crystal. When his vision returned, Lin Moyu found himself back. The 6 great Taos that had surrounded him had all disappeared, and everything returned to normal, as if his recent experience was just a dream. As the great Tao reward over just like that, Lin Moyu felt a surge in his heart and summoned the 1,000-star great Tao. On the 1,000-star great Tao, 10 stars shone brightly. The stars of the Falling Star Lord, Cold 9 Star Lord, and 2 Wind Star Lord were present, along with 6 other stars. Now there was one more, the Battle King Star Lord. The star of the Battle King Star Lord was noticeably brighter and larger than the others, and it was positioned higher. This indicated that the Battle King Star Lord was stronger. The 1,000-star Great Tao also had clear levels, with the Battle King Star Lord at the top, followed by the Falling Star Lord and 2 other stars, and 6 more below. The concept of levels exists everywhere. Lin Moyu reached out and took an item from the Battle King Star Lord. It was armor, only the size of a palm, but extremely exquisite. The Battle King armor was the inheritance item of the Battle King Star Lord. Once Lin Moyu found a suitable inheritor, he could give them the Battle King armor, allowing them to receive the Battle King Star Lord's inheritance and possibly inherit the Star Lord position. Cultivating the Star Lord inheritance to become a Star Lord is a shortcut, but also a limitation. It limits ultimate achievements. Once a Star Lord, one can never become a Tao life. Victory is a Star Lord, defeat is a Star Lord. Few cultivators truly reach the Tao Sovereign level. Looking at the situation in various holy lands now, one can see that even with vast resources and infinite luck, only a few reach the Tao Sovereign 9th realm and glimpse the great Tao. Moreover, their path is skewed, and their pursuit is nothing but immortality. Even if they enter the great Tao realm, their ultimate achievement is only equivalent to the weakest Star Lord. Thus, the path of the Star Lord is a smooth road for most cultivators. Lin Moyu had already made up his mind that most of these Star Lord positions would go to his own people in the future. His power could develop into a Star Lord force. Given enough time, Yu Dao City would become a formidable force, surpassing those strange places. Looking at the 1,000-star Great Tao, with 10 stars already shining and enough insights gained, the door to the Tao Sovereign was open. Lin Moyu could become a Tao Sovereign anytime he wanted. Everything is ready, only lacking Tao patterns. He had everything except the number of Tao patterns was insufficient. 6 Tao patterns were not what Lin Moyu wanted. He wanted to reach the limit, even surpass it. He walked past the previous location of the Divine Pet. The Divine Pet was dead, leaving only empty thunder chains. At the entrance to the secret, Lin Moyu raised his hand, and the Tao patterns in his palm shone brightly, resonating with the entrance's Tao patterns. The Tao patterns in his palm flew out, growing larger and merging with the entrance's Tao patterns. With a rumble, the entrance changed, rippling like a water curtain, and a powerful aura surged out. Several skeleton generals appeared beside Lin Moyu, who ran in first. As soon as they entered, the skeleton generals were blasted away, heavily crashing to the ground. The skeleton generals were paralyzed by the lightning and couldn't move. The skeleton generals couldn't enter. Lin Moyu knew only he was qualified to go in. With a hint of helplessness, he walked in. Inside the entrance was a thunder passage, and where Lin Moyu went, the thunder automatically avoided him. The passage wasn't long, and Lin Moyu reached the end after a while. Passing through the passage, he finally saw the situation inside the secret. Lin Moyu was slightly shocked. Countless thunderbolts fell from the sky, forming 8 great Dao chains, suspending a peculiar creature in midair. Seeing the creature, his soul immediately felt a strong sense of disgust. This disgust was even stronger than when he saw the divine pet. Extraterrestrial god. Lin Moyu was shocked to see an extraterrestrial god here with his own eyes. The key point was that this extraterrestrial god was chained by thunder, seemingly unconscious. But it wasn't dead, it was still alive. Through the eye of the undead, Lin Moyu could see the extraterrestrial god's soul flame still existed. Looking at the extraterrestrial god, even in a coma, its aura was still terrifying. The natural aura alone gave Lin Moyu the illusion of being crushed. So strong. He knew the extraterrestrial god was strong, comparable to the Great Dao Realm, but he had no concept of the Great Dao Realm. He didn't before, but now he had a bit of a concept. If this extraterrestrial god were conscious and wanted to kill him, it wouldn't need to lift a finger, its aura alone would suffice. He had no means to block it, completely unable to resist. The Great Dao Realm and the Dao Sovereign Realm were entirely different concepts. Fortunately, it was unconscious and chained here, giving him a chance to see it clearly. Its 4 limbs and appearance were about 70 to 80% similar to humans. Its face, body, and arms had some peculiar patterns. Not Dao patterns, nor runes, nor any totems Lin Moyu recognized. It had an inverted horn on the back of its hand and heel. It had a pair of wings on its back, which should have been feathered, but now they were bare, likely stripped by the thunder, leaving only the bare bones. 8 thunder chains fell, locking the extraterrestrial god's limbs, neck, waist, and wing bones. Terrifying thunder constantly fell along the chains, keeping it in a coma. Lin Moyu didn't know how long it had been locked here, but it must have been a long time. Over the years, the extraterrestrial god's aura remained intact, with almost no injuries except for the feathers on its wings. If I kill it, will I receive more Great Dao rewards? Previously, killing half a divine pet revived a star system. If I can kill this extraterrestrial god, I should be able to revive several stars. Lin Moyu thought to himself, but he knew he was being unrealistic. Extraterrestrial gods aren't easy to kill. If they were, the thunder would have killed it long ago. Lin Moyu could feel that the thunder Great Dao was extremely powerful, reaching the Dao Sovereign 8th or 9th realm. Even so, it couldn't kill it, so how could he? Should he use the luck Dao and explosive luck technique? Lin Moyu wasn't confident. Little guy, did you kill the divine pet outside? A voice sounded in his ear, and Lin Moyu immediately turned to see a blonde old man looking at him. Chapter 2873, 2873. Chapter 2873, Wait until Dao Sovereign 9th Realm to return. The golden-haired elder appeared without Lin Moyu noticing beforehand. His spiritual sense did not react at all, indicating that either the other party had no malice towards him, or the other party's strength was so overwhelming that it surpassed the limits of his perception. Lin Moyu couldn't sense the other party's realm at all, which made it even more terrifying. He cupped his fists in salute. Junior Lin Moyu greets the senior. The elder smiled gently. Little guy, I'm asking you a question. Lin Moyu replied, yes, that half-divine pet was killed by me. The elder asked, how did you kill it? Tell me in detail. Faced with this unfathomable presence, Lin Moyu did not hide anything. I used the luck Great Dao to first weaken its luck, and then attacked it with my own luck to kill it. The elder remained silent, seemingly pondering Lin Moyu's words. After a moment, he suddenly sighed. It's indeed a good method, but what a pity. Lin Moyu asked, what is a pity? The elder said, it's a pity that your realm is still lacking, and your understanding of the Great Dao is insufficient, so you can't kill that creature. He was referring to the extraterrestrial god suspended in midair. Lin Moyu asked, Senior, can you tell me what's going on here? The elder squinted. Of course, in nearly 1,000 years, you are the first person to come here. And you are the first to kill that guardian divine pet, so you have some privileges. Since that's the case, let me tell you what's happening. Lin Moyu perked up his ears, knowing he was about to hear some secrets. The Thunder Secret Vault is both a secret vault and not entirely a secret vault. Its existence can be traced back to prehistoric times, to the era of the god-slaying sect. Back then, a powerful being at the Great Dao Realm fought a battle here with an extraterrestrial god. Both were severely injured, and the extraterrestrial god had a strong recovery ability. The Great Tao Realm expert knew that if it dragged on, he would be the one to die. He sacrificed his life to activate the eternal shackles, imprisoning the extraterrestrial god here. The eternal shackles not only locked the extraterrestrial god's physical body but also its soul, and even its pet was not spared. The Great Tao Realm expert originally had a chance to reincarnate, but he feared that over time, the extraterrestrial god would escape. After all, the eternal shackles were only said to be eternal, not truly eternal. Just as the Great Tao Realm expert was said to be immortal, but not truly immortal. He simply gave up the opportunity to reincarnate, sacrificing himself to form this space. The Great Tao Realm expert couldn't kill the extraterrestrial god, so he could only imprison it eternally. As for the external secret vault, it was not constructed by the Great Tao Realm expert but naturally evolved from the leakage of Great Tao power. The Great Tao Realm expert who imprisoned the extraterrestrial god is none other than the elder before him. Now, only a remnant soul remains, as the elder himself has long perished. This is the Great Tao realm. Even a remnant soul can live for a long time, even eternally. However, this kind of immortality is no different from being dead. The Thunder secret vault was originally hidden in another layer of space, with no connection to the real world. As time passed, the endless flow of months went by, and over 3,000 years ago, the Thunder secret vault appeared on the eastern continent. After the Thunder secret vault appeared, people began to enter. Some reached the storm center, saw the divine pet, and even entered the interior. There are many smart people in this world, and Lin Moyu is not the only one. Among those who entered, the strongest was a Tao Sovereign 9th Realm expert. He also collected thunder stones but couldn't kill the divine pet because it couldn't kill him either, nor could it stop him. He came here, saw the extraterrestrial god, but couldn't kill it either. In the end, he had to leave the secret vault. Later, 2 more people entered, 2 Tao Sovereign 8th Realm experts, 1 human and 1 demon. They also couldn't do anything to the extraterrestrial god and had to leave. The elder's tone remained calm throughout. The first Tao Sovereign 9th Realm to enter came back once more, bringing some items related to the Thunder Great Tao. Although it wasn't much help, it was better than nothing. It's a pity that after so many years, we still can't kill this creature, and who knows how many more years this place can hold. Lin Moyu looked at the extraterrestrial god suspended in the sky. For now, the situation seems stable. The elder shook his head. What you see is only the surface, not the essence. Even if it can remain stable for tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of years, as long as it doesn't die, one day it will break free. By then, but who knows what this world will be like then? Perhaps another great war will begin. Lin Moyu wanted to ask what the Great War was, but the elder gently shook his head. No need to ask, your realm is still far off. Lin Moyu asked, Senior, after locking up the extraterrestrial god all these years, have you thought of a way to kill it? The elder said, if I had thought of it, it wouldn't have dragged on until now. Lin Moyu said, I killed another divine pet before, but at that time, a Star Lord took action. I severely injured the divine pet with the Luck Great Tao, and the Star Lord killed it. If I use the Luck Great Tao to attack it now, can I kill it? The elder squinted and smiled. Divine pets and extraterrestrial gods are completely different. Divine pets are like grass. Even if bent, they can straighten again. If you use more force, you can crush them. Extraterrestrial gods are like trees, you can't crush them just by stepping on them. You must use other methods. Lin Moyu asked, can you tell me how to kill an extraterrestrial god, Senior? Although the elder couldn't kill the extraterrestrial god, he surely knew how to do it, just couldn't achieve it. As he said at the beginning, if his realm were higher, perhaps he could kill the extraterrestrial god. The elder said, to kill an extraterrestrial god, it's not that difficult. One way is to crush it with the Great Tao, but your Great Tao must be strong enough. I was at the same level as it, and my heavenly Tao couldn't break its divine body. Lin Moyu heard a term, divine body. The difference between extraterrestrial gods and divine pets is the divine body. Divine pets only have a trace of the divine body, which is already hard to kill. Extraterrestrial gods have a complete divine body, and its defense is astonishing. The divine body protects not only the physical body but also the soul, with almost no weaknesses. Even using the power of the Great Tao, it's hard to break a divine body of the same realm, let alone a Tao Sovereign. A Tao Sovereign only borrows part of the Great Tao's power, incomparable to the Great Tao realm. However, Lin Moyu thought the Great Tao also depended on which Great Tao. If it were the primordial Great Tao, it might be different. The elder continued, the second method is also the Great Tao, but it's the Void Great Tao. The Void Great Tao has an advantage against extraterrestrial gods, even if 1 or 2 realms lower, it can break their divine body. Lin Moyu understood he had tried it, and it was indeed possible. The elder said, if you were now a Tao sovereign 9th realm, perhaps your luck Great Tao could break its divine body. Why not go back and cultivate, and return when you're a Tao sovereign 9th realm? Chapter 2874, 2874. Chapter 2874, Lin Moyu, who won't give up. The method the elder mentioned was indeed a way, and he could afford to wait. However, Lin Moyu didn't want to wait. The extraterrestrial god was right in front of him, and looking at it, there was a lot of great Tao rewards to be gained. If he could obtain them, the benefits would be immense. Lin Moyu asked, Senior, if I kill it, will the great Tao rewards be greater than those from killing the divine pet? The elder shook his head, it's different. The great Tao rewards from killing a divine pet are not selectable. Killing an extraterrestrial god allows you to choose your rewards. Lin Moyu's eyes lit up, what kind of rewards can I choose? The elder said, many, almost anything you can think of. Lin Moyu asked, what if I want to condense Tao patterns? The elder understood Lin Moyu's thoughts, that's possible, but it can't exceed your limit, or at least not by much. The great Tao rewards can help you reach your true limit. Reaching the true limit, Lin Moyu fully understood the meaning of this sentence. Every cultivator has their limit, determined by various factors like mindset, soul, physical body, and great Tao comprehension. Normally, no one knows their true limit, and it's also difficult to truly reach it. If this limit is just beyond 7 Tao patterns, and a little short of 8. Condensing them by oneself would typically mean stopping at 7 Tao patterns. But with the help of great Tao rewards, one could condense 8 Tao patterns, as 8 Tao patterns are the true limit. Slightly exceeding it wouldn't matter. Once a solid foundation is laid, future achievements will grow stronger. Lin Moyu could step into the Tao sovereign realm at any time now, with a solid foundation. 6 Tao patterns were not bad even in that era. Lin Moyu asked, if I can kill it, can I request the great Tao rewards to condense Tao patterns? How many can I condense? The elder squinted, if you can really kill it, with your current realm, you can condense all your Tao patterns. Someone once did it, condensing from 6 to 8 Tao patterns. Lin Moyu asked, is 8 Tao patterns the limit? The elder shook his head, no, 9 is the limit. But few can condense 9, and those who do become Tao masters. Do you want to become a Tao master? But that depends on talent and fate sometimes, effort alone isn't enough. Lin Moyu said, I've condensed 6 Tao patterns and feel I have more capacity, maybe I can try. The elder nodded, you can try. I can see that you have extraordinary talent, and you're young, with plenty of time to try. Even if you fail, it doesn't matter, it won't have much impact. Remember, when you reach Tao sovereign 9th realm, come back and help me kill it. Lin Moyu said, I want to kill it now. The elder thought Lin Moyu was joking, I wish I could too, but I can't. Lin Moyu said, I want to try. Saying this, Lin Moyu flew towards the extraterrestrial god, and the elder did not stop him, only watched silently. When he was still 100 meters away from the extraterrestrial god, an invisible force stopped him, he couldn't get through. The extraterrestrial god emitted a faint light, and waves of invisible force came out, firmly blocking Lin Moyu. The elder's voice came, that's its protective divine light. Without Tao sovereign 7th realm, you can't break through. Lin Moyu asked, can you help me? The elder shook his head, I can only trap it, make it unconscious and immobile, I can't do anything else. Even if you use the luck great Tao, you can't kill it, the gap between you is too great. The meaning was clear, you can't even get close, so don't think about killing it. The elder thought Lin Moyu's idea was unrealistic. Lin Moyu had his own thoughts. After trying a few times and confirming he couldn't get through, he took a deep breath. His eyes became determined, and Lin Moyu took out a great Tao undying pill, swallowing it. The elder watched Lin Moyu take the pill but showed no reaction, his eyes like watching a show. A great Tao undying pill, I didn't expect anyone could still make one today. It must be that guy who made it. After countless years, he no longer knew what urgency was. The elder didn't know why Lin Moyu took the great Tao undying pill, as it only guaranteed not dying for a certain time, with no other use. The next second, a peculiar aura surged from Lin Moyu. The elder finally showed some emotion, his previous calmness gone. Origin spell. I didn't expect this little guy to master an origin spell. Those who can master origin spells in this world all become Dao masters. It seems this little guy has limitless potential. Origin spell. Power gathering. The vast power of the Undead Legion gathered on Lin Moyu, his aura rapidly rising, almost instantly breaking through the barrier between Heavenly Sovereign and Dao Sovereign. Lin Moyu entered the Dao Sovereign realm as naturally as drinking water or eating. Then his aura continued to rise rapidly, Dao Sovereign's second realm, third realm, climbing as if without limit. The elder was moved, muttering to himself, what a powerful origin spell, to raise so many realms. But this way of raising, the body and soul can't withstand it, no wonder he took the great Dao Undying Pill. But just raising the realm is useless, even reaching Dao Sovereign ninth realm is useless. Great Dao comprehension doesn't increase with realm. With his insight, he could see that Lin Moyu's realm had risen, but not his great Dao level. Lin Moyu was forcing growth, merely raising his realm. While his power increased, it was far less than a Dao Sovereign who cultivated step by step. Even if Lin Moyu reached Dao Sovereign ninth realm, his real combat power might not match Dao Sovereign seventh realm. The luck great Dao wouldn't increase with the realm, and he couldn't use it to kill the extraterrestrial god. The power great Dao was the same. Lin Moyu knew this too. No matter how much his realm and power increased, he couldn't kill the extraterrestrial god with his own power. But what he needed was the realm. With enough realm, he could break through the extraterrestrial god's protective divine light and reach it. His realm continued to rise, and the Undead Legion gave Lin Moyu enough power. His realm broke through layer by layer, and in the blink of an eye, Lin Moyu's realm reached Dao Sovereign's sixth realm. In the last battle against Zhao Dongsheng, using the great Dao Undying Pill, he also only reached Dao Sovereign's sixth realm. But today was different. Today he was at peak Heavenly Sovereign, much stronger than then. The Undead Legion was also much stronger, providing more power. After pausing for a few seconds at Dao Sovereign's sixth realm, with a muffled sound, Lin Moyu's aura suddenly rose, charging into Dao Sovereign's seventh realm. The difference between sixth and seventh realm was just one realm, but worlds apart. After entering seventh realm, the power of the origin spell also reached its limit, unable to rise further. Lin Moyu tried to rush towards the extraterrestrial god, vast power surging from within, turning into a sharp sword, cutting through obstacles. The protective divine light that had stopped him before could no longer block Lin Moyu. Though his advance was slow, he could at least approach. Chapter 2875, 2875. Chapter 2875, playing so big. He's alive again. The protective divine light was like a quagmire, and Lin Moyu faced great resistance, moving forward very slowly. The Dao Sovereign's seventh realm was just enough to break through the bottom line of the extraterrestrial god's protective divine light, but ultimately, his strength was insufficient. Lin Moyu was a bit anxious. The effect of the great Dao Undying Pill lasted only 10 minutes, and he had to get through within that time. Once the effect wore off, he would collapse immediately, and all his efforts would be in vain. Lin Moyu exerted all his strength, cutting through obstacles. His blood roared, turning into a column of smoke that shot into the sky. Lin Moyu punched continuously, the power of the great Dao of strength fused into his blood, and he moved forward. The elder squinted, watching this scene, unable to hide his astonishment. Everything Lin Moyu displayed shocked him immensely. Origin spell, luck great Dao, strength great Dao. Anyone who possesses even one of these has the chance to become a Dao master, to live eternally, to stand proudly in the universe. These things concentrated in one person, and his fate can withstand it. Could it be, is he the reincarnation of a Dao master? Any good thing, even if you can obtain it, you must have the fate to bear it. If fate isn't strong enough, even obtaining good things will bring misfortune. Fate is something that, except for a few people, no one can explain. However, seeing Lin Moyu possessing so many good things and living so well, the elder knew Lin Moyu's fate was extraordinary. But he still didn't understand why Lin Moyu was risking his life to approach the extraterrestrial god. He could only watch, unable to help at all. Everything he told Lin Moyu was true. He had already used all his strength to trap the extraterrestrial god and couldn't spare any more power. In his eyes, Lin Moyu didn't need to struggle so hard. With the origin spell, the Great Tao of Strength, and the Luck Great Tao, Lin Moyu only needed to cultivate to Tao Sovereign 8th Realm to have a chance to kill the extraterrestrial god. At Tao Sovereign 9th Realm, he could kill it for sure. He could afford to wait that time. Time ticked by, and Lin Moyu advanced with difficulty, the 100-meter distance like a chasm. After 9 minutes, he finally reached the extraterrestrial god. At this moment, he could clearly see the divine light flowing on the extraterrestrial god. The divine light gave him an illusion of being indestructible, and beneath it was the god's body, capable of resisting the great Tao, unbreakable. Just by looking closely, Lin Moyu could sense its power. With little time left, Lin Moyu didn't look any longer and took out the scourge staff. The Eye of the Undead activated, locating the soul's position. A soul flame was flickering in the extraterrestrial god's chest. The soul's location was different from humans, not in the forehead or mind, but in the chest. Though the soul was in another world, the body was still its vessel, and they were connected. It's up to you. Lin Moyu raised the scourge staff and struck down hard. The scourge staff was indestructible, and he believed it could shatter the extraterrestrial god's body. When Lin Moyu raised the scourge staff, the elder finally understood what he intended to do. His gaze fixed on the staff. I've seen this staff somewhere before. Where was it? Why can't I remember? The elder was sure he had seen the staff before, but he couldn't recall where. It was strange for a great Tao realm expert to forget something. The scourge staff struck the extraterrestrial god's chest with a crisp sound. The god's body suddenly lit up, then cracked like glass. The divine light shone brightly, seemingly trying to repair the damage, but Lin Moyu wouldn't give it a chance, striking again. The god's body shattered, and the scourge staff touched the flesh. The flesh tore apart, exploding on the spot. Some of the flesh touched the scourge staff, and the soul gem on it suddenly glowed, releasing a terrifying power that pierced the extraterrestrial god's soul like a blade. Lin Moyu heard a sharp scream from the soul. Under the Eye of the Undead, the extraterrestrial god's soul flame deformed rapidly, with a large amount of soul power being extracted. The soul gem acted like a pump, drawing out the extraterrestrial god's soul power. The soul gem absorbed the extraterrestrial god's soul to replenish itself. Lin Moyu was shocked. Does the soul gem need to absorb the extraterrestrial god's soul power? No, it doesn't want the extraterrestrial god's soul power, it wants the Great Tao Realm's soul power. Not just the extraterrestrial god, but other Great Tao Realm's soul power can be absorbed too. The ability to absorb Great Tao Realm's soul power showed the soul gem's high level, at least a Great Tao Realm treasure. The extraterrestrial god's soul screamed miserably, and as the soul gem continued to extract soul power, the scream weakened. In just a few seconds, the scream became extremely faint. The extraterrestrial god's aura was now extremely weak, reduced to an empty shell, not dead but close. Then, the previously inactive elemental gem suddenly moved, spewing a purple gold flame that ignited the extraterrestrial god's body. The powerful body vaporized in the flame, leaving not even ash. Lin Moyu noticed that the body seemed to leave no ash, but the essence was absorbed by the elemental gem. The soul gem and elemental gem worked perfectly together, one extracting the soul, the other absorbing the body's essence. In just 2 strikes, the extraterrestrial god, which even a Great Tao realm couldn't easily kill, was gone. Lin Moyu gained a new understanding of the scourge staff, thinking it would take more strikes, but it only took 2, and it was easy. The elder on the ground was now very unsettled. He hadn't recalled the scourge staff's origin, but he recognized the purple gold flame. Purple gold Tao fire, the fire of Tao burning. How can there be a fire of Tao burning? What is this thing? His mind was in turmoil, unable to calm down. At this moment, Lin Moyu's body exploded into a blood mist. Dead, the elder was stunned, his mind racing even more. After all the effort to kill the extraterrestrial god, did he die too? What was this, mutual destruction? Was he waiting for the Great Tao reward to revive himself? Playing so big, in his countless years of life, the elder had never been so confused. His mind was a mess, unable to articulate anything. But in less than a second, the blood suddenly gathered, and with a flash of purple light, Lin Moyu reappeared. The newly revived Lin Moyu's aura was back to its peak, as if nothing had happened. The elder's eyes widened. He's alive again. Chapter 2876. 2876. Chapter 2876, play however you want. The extraterrestrial god was dead, leaving not even a trace of ash. The 8 thunder chains lost their target and hung motionless in the air. Lin Moyu returned to the elder. "Senior, it's finally resolved." The elder's gaze was complex, his thoughts not chaotic at this moment. Lin Moyu found it strange the extraterrestrial god was dead, so the elder should be happy. Why did he seem unhappy? The elder scrutinized Lin Moyu. "Are you the reincarnation of a Tao master?" Lin Moyu looked puzzled. "Why do you say that, senior?" The elder waved his hand. "Nothing, just asking casually. What was the treasure you used just now?" Lin Moyu replied, "The scourge staff." The elder thought for a moment and shook his head slightly, confirming he hadn't heard of it. Though he couldn't figure it out, he remained curious. "Where did you get the scourge staff?" Lin Moyu said, "In a small world. I was hoping to ask you about it, senior." The elder, once a true great Tao realm expert, surely knew many things. Having encountered him, Lin Moyu couldn't miss the opportunity to ask. The elder said, "No rush, let's talk after the great Tao reward, we have time." The great Tao reward descended. The rewards for killing an extraterrestrial god and a divine pet were completely different. After killing the extraterrestrial god, the great Tao reward could be chosen. Cultivators only needed to communicate with the great Tao through their thoughts to receive the corresponding reward. Lin Moyu didn't know what reward the elder wanted. He knew exactly what he wanted. As the great Tao descended, an invisible force enveloped him, and a vague whisper seemed to ask what reward Lin Moyu desired. Without hesitation, Lin Moyu chose to condense Tao patterns. In the next second, after making his choice, the power of the great Tao descended. The power of the great Tao was incomparably noble, containing an untouchable ethereal quality. This power seemed to contain traces of all great Taos. Infinite Taos could find clues here, whether illusory or real, all included. This power guided Lin Moyu, his consciousness sinking into the soul world. In the soul world, the great Tao power transformed into a light, falling on his soul. 6 Tao patterns in his soul shone brightly, and the 7th pattern had just begun to take shape, far from fully formed. If Lin Moyu were to condense it himself, it might take 1,000 days. But under the glow of the great Tao, the 7th Tao pattern quickly took shape. The speed of condensing the Tao pattern was so fast that even Lin Moyu, its owner, was caught off guard. Fast, incredibly fast. Lin Moyu felt as if his soul had entered an extremely special state, incredibly close to the great Tao. All insights, whether conscious or subconscious, including those buried deep in his soul, were summoned at this moment. The Tao patterns were formed from his own insights, and whether they could be condensed depended on himself, not external forces. If his insights were insufficient, the great Tao reward couldn't help. Thus, the great Tao reward could only assist in condensing Tao patterns, not create them for him. The great Tao reward could gather all details, leaving nothing out. Lin Moyu possessed 6 great Taos, and even he couldn't fully understand the depth of his insights. Any one of the 6 great Taos was enough to support his entry into the Tao sovereign realm. In less than 2 minutes, the 7th Tao pattern was successfully condensed. Then, the outline of the 8th Tao pattern appeared in his soul. This time, the condensation speed remained fast, ignoring the rule that more Tao patterns meant slower condensation. All rules were set under the great Tao, ineffective against it. 3 minutes later, the 8th Tao pattern was condensed. 8 Tao patterns shone in his soul, forming a whole, each pattern's power greatly enhanced. The more Tao patterns, the stronger the resonance, amplifying each pattern's power. The same number of Tao patterns, whether one or many, had vastly different power. Then, the outline of the 9th Tao pattern appeared. At this point, the condensation of Tao patterns was no longer under Lin Moyu's control. The great Tao reward mobilized all his insights, pushing him toward his limit. In this state, Lin Moyu had no idea where his limit lay. It could be far away, or it might suddenly be reached. Lin Moyu could only passively accept this. Though the great Tao reward could be freely chosen, it remained dominant. While Lin Moyu condensed Tao patterns, the elder had already finished receiving his great Tao reward and was watching Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu's reward continued, and the elder was patient. His gaze was sharper than before. Condensing the 9th Tao pattern took a full 4 minutes. The 7th took 2 minutes, the 8th 3 minutes, and the 9th 4 minutes. Though each took longer, they all went smoothly. After the 9th Tao pattern was successfully condensed, the great Tao reward still wasn't over. Just 2 seconds later, the outline of the 10th Tao pattern formed. Lin Moyu was shocked. There's actually a 10th Tao pattern. The senior said those who condense 9 Tao patterns become Tao masters. 9 Tao patterns should be the limit, but I've condensed a 10th. What does that make me? The great Tao reward didn't care if Lin Moyu was shocked. The Tao patterns continued to condense until his limit was reached. 5 minutes later, the 10th Tao pattern was successfully condensed. 10 Tao patterns, truly surpassing the limit. As soon as the thought arose, the outline of the 11th Tao pattern suddenly appeared. There's more. The thought shattered, and Lin Moyu watched in a daze. He had once estimated he could exceed 8 Tao patterns without issue. He had always broken limits as he grew. Later, he heard the true limit was 9 Tao patterns, and Lin Moyu felt he could manage, maybe even reach 10. In fact, he did reach 10. But he never imagined there would be an 11th. At this point, Lin Moyu didn't care anymore. The great Tao reward could do as it pleased. He became a bystander, watching the great Tao reward do as it willed. In 6 minutes, the 11th Tao pattern was successfully condensed. Then, the outline of the 12th Tao pattern appeared. Lin Moyu watched as if watching a show, wishing he had some snacks to enjoy. 7 minutes later, the 12th Tao pattern was successfully condensed. 12 Tao patterns formed a whole, resonating powerfully. Lin Moyu felt the power of the Tao patterns had increased at least threefold. The same spell, infused with Tao patterns, was at least 3 times stronger than those with only 1 Tao pattern. The difference was terrifying, allowing him to easily crush cultivators of the same realm. Then, the 13th Tao pattern appeared. In the secret vault, the elder waited a long time, unable to see Lin Moyu finish. Lin Moyu was enveloped in a glow of the great Tao, which was both a reward and a protection. After a long wait, the glow finally faded. It's finally done. The elder snapped his fingers, and the 8 thunder chains fell like lightning, binding Lin Moyu tightly. Chapter 2877, 2877. Chapter 2877, Under the Great Tao, all are ants. The thunder chains instantly fell, simultaneously locking Lin Moyu's hands, feet, and neck. The 8 thunder chains turned into 5, reducing in number, but the total strength remained unchanged. Then the thunder chains suddenly pulled up, suspending Lin Moyu in midair. Lin Moyu awoke, looking gravely at the elder. "Senior, what are you doing?" he asked knowingly, as when the elder locked him with the thunder chains, there was no need to ask what he intended. In Lin Moyu's eyes, the elder had become his mortal enemy. His logic was simple: if you intend to harm me, even slightly, I will destroy you. If you have helped me, I will repay you tenfold. Now, the elder suddenly locked him up, clearly not intending to help him. Lin Moyu sensed danger from the elder, and his intuition kept warning him. The elder's voice remained gentle. "Little guy, do you know what reward I asked from the great Tao?" Lin Moyu shook his head. "I don't know, why don't you tell me?" As he spoke, Lin Moyu's thoughts raced, searching for a way to escape. There was a way to escape, such as self-detonation. After self-detonation and rebirth, he could naturally escape. But it was meaningless, as this was the secret vault, the domain of this great Tao realm elder. Even the powerful extraterrestrial god could only be locked here for countless years. Even if he escaped now, he would be locked up again in the next second. There was no point in doing something useless. But besides this method, Lin Moyu couldn't find a good way. If the elder intended to kill him, the mark left by the Heavenly Thunder Taoist would be activated. The Heavenly Thunder Taoist was a Tao sovereign 9th realm, and his mark would not be as strong as his true self. Given the current situation, even if the Heavenly Thunder Taoist himself came, he might not be a match for this elder. The elder was once a great Tao realm expert, and even in death, with only a remnant soul, his strength was still formidable. Moreover, no one knew what reward he had asked from the great Tao. Facing the crisis, Lin Moyu remained calm, hoping to get more information from the elder. The elder smiled. "Originally, I wanted the great Tao to help me reincarnate. With my identity and strength, reincarnation would likely allow me to glimpse the great Tao again and return to the great Tao realm. But that would take a long time, and no one can guarantee there won't be accidents during cultivation. Besides, the current origin continent is not the same as it was. Origin spirit veins are scarce, and becoming a great Tao realm expert again is much harder than before. So I decided to use a simpler method and borrow your body." Lin Moyu seemed to be stunned. "How do you plan to borrow it?" How to borrow? It could only mean possession, taking over the body. Lin Moyu immediately thought of the answer. The elder laughed. You're smart, you must have guessed I want to possess you, but ordinary possession won't work. If the soul and body don't match, it's impossible to enter the Great Tao. So I will use the Thunder Great Tao to erase your consciousness and use your soul as a shell to live again. You have origin spells, the Great Tao of Strength, the Luck Great Tao, all of which heaven will help you inherit. Lin Moyu asked, what exactly did you ask from the Great Tao? The elder said, haven't you guessed? Or are you afraid to say it? Lin Moyu said, at this point, there's nothing to fear. I guess your former strength was great, but you used all your power to lock the extraterrestrial god, so you shouldn't have any strength left for other things. Moreover, you've fallen, and besides controlling these thunder chains, your remnant soul should have no other abilities. You must have asked the Great Tao to restore your power, only then can you erase my consciousness and use my soul as a shell. Clap, clap, clap. The elder suddenly clapped his hands. You're really smart, you guessed right. Lin Moyu continued, I also guessed that your strength in life was too great, and although the Great Tao reward is good, it can't restore you to your peak, at most 2 or 3 parts. And the restoration time is limited. The elder suddenly laughed heartily, you guessed right again. Indeed, only 1 part of my strength is restored, but even that is stronger than a Tao sovereign 9th realm. Little guy, you have no idea of the gap between the Great Tao realm and a Tao sovereign. Lin Moyu had no doubt about the elder's words. 1 part of a Great Tao realm's strength must be stronger than a Tao sovereign 9th realm. The elder continued, well, time is almost up. Do you have any last words? Perhaps I can help you with something in the future. But if you don't say anything, it's fine. Although I will erase your consciousness, I won't erase your memories. Everything you know will become mine. Lin Moyu's expression remained unchanged as he asked, Senior, I have 2 more questions. The elder said, ask away. Lin Moyu said, I want to know your name. Even if I'm going to die, I should at least know who killed me, right? Otherwise, it would be too pitiful. The elder laughed, your thinking is indeed different from ordinary people. No harm in telling you, my name is Jin Lei, known as the Thunderlock Taoist. Now that you know my name, you should be at peace. What's your last question? Lin Moyu said, so it's Senior Jin. My last question is, why did you fight the extraterrestrial god back then? With your character, you shouldn't have made such a choice. I'm very puzzled. Jin Lei's expression changed slightly. Lin Moyu's question was essentially an insult to his character. At his level, he valued face greatly, and Lin Moyu's indirect insult displeased him. Jin Lei sneered, considering you're about to die, I'll let you insult me a bit. I'll tell you about the past. Back then, when fighting the extraterrestrial god, there were only 2 choices, kill the opponent or be killed. If you dared to escape, the Great Tao would punish you, and such punishment is unbearable. Since you're so curious, I'll tell you one more thing, under the Great Tao, we're all ants. Don't think entering the Great Tao realm means immortality. Even a Tao master is just a bigger ant. Under the Great Tao, all are ants. With these words, Jin Lei rushed towards Lin Moyu. At the same time, the thunder chains exploded with powerful force, the terrifying power of thunder bursting through the chains. Just like when they locked the extraterrestrial god, the thunder's power was all-pervasive, paralyzing the body and soul, putting the soul into a comatose state. The extraterrestrial god was killed by Lin Moyu with the scourge staff in such a state. But this time, the thunder chains only paralyzed Lin Moyu's body, not his soul. Because Jin Lei wanted to erase Lin Moyu's consciousness and occupy his soul. Chapter 2878, 2878. Chapter 2878. This time, you will really die. Lin Moyu wasn't completely helpless. He had a token given by the 3 ancestors, which he could use to summon them at any time. Though he didn't know the true strength of the 3 ancestors, Lin Moyu believed they could save him without any problem. However, Lin Moyu didn't want to use this method. He thought he could still save himself. The thunder chains weren't as terrifying as he imagined. His body felt some numbness, but he wasn't completely immobile. His body had already adapted to the thunder in the secret vault, developing a strong immunity to the paralyzing effect of the thunder. Now, even though the paralysis from the chains was stronger, it was still within a bearable range. As long as he stimulated his blood and used the Great Tao of Strength, he could clear the numbness in a short time. Similarly, this paralysis was ineffective on both his body and soul. His soul was much more resistant than his body. Jin Lei wanted to possess him, but not in the ordinary sense. He intended to erase Lin Moyu's consciousness without harming his soul, giving Lin Moyu an opportunity. In his soul world, his own domain, even a great Dao realm expert had to tread carefully. Moreover, while Jin Lei coveted his soul, Lin Moyu also had his eyes on Jin Lei's soul. Countless thoughts exploded in Lin Moyu's mind like a massive detonation. He was determined, he was ruthless to his enemies and even more so to himself. In the soul world, Jin Lei was stunned. Your soul world, how can it be like this? Lin Moyu's soul slowly rose. Welcome, Senior Jin Lei, to my soul world. Jin Lei was shocked by Lin Moyu's soul world, he had never seen anything like it. He muttered to himself, 2 origin spells, and what's that other spell? Why is it stronger than the origin spells? Why is your soul world divided into 3 layers? You've integrated the Sea of Worlds into your own rule world, you're insane. What is this tree? It's so big, even the Dragon God tree isn't this large. 10-color Dragon Soul Crystal, the legendary 10-color Dragon Soul Crystal. What's with your soul? Why is there such terrifying sword energy? Jin Lei felt he was going crazy. He saw things in Lin Moyu's soul world that he had never seen in his life. Origin spells were rare, yet Lin Moyu had 2. There was also something stronger than origin spells, though he didn't know what it was. The 10-color Dragon Soul Crystal, a legendary item never seen before, appeared here. If the dragon race knew, they'd go mad. Especially the World Tree, he had never seen such a tree, not even the Dragon God Tree. Though not as powerful as the Dragon God Tree, it had terrifying potential and could still grow. In the end, it might surpass the Dragon God Tree. Lin Moyu didn't care about Jin Lei's muttering. His soul gently clapped, whispering, seal. The World Tree branches extended madly, sealing the entire soul world with countless branches. Lin Moyu's rule world was divided into upper, middle, and lower layers, with the soul world in the middle. The World Tree sealed the soul world, preventing Jin Lei from escaping elsewhere. Lin Moyu said, Senior Jin Lei, though you're strong, this is my domain. If you want to possess me, it won't be that easy. Jin Lei gradually calmed down, looking at Lin Moyu's soul. Seeing it, his barely calm emotions exploded again, and he cried out, how can you have so many Dao patterns? It's impossible. What he saw before had only surprised him. But now, it overturned all his understanding. Lin Moyu's soul contained 18 Dao patterns, arranged in a unique way, shining brightly. In his understanding, even a Dao master at peak heavenly sovereign could only condense 9 Dao patterns. What were Lin Moyu's 18 Dao patterns? Looking at himself, he had only condensed 6 Dao patterns at that realm. What did that mean? Lin Moyu smiled, nothing is impossible. This world is amazing, beyond our imagination. Senior Jin Lei, you made a wrong choice, losing your chance for rebirth. This time, you will really die. But everyone must pay for their choices, and so must you. Lin Moyu didn't waste any more words with Jin Lei. With a thought, the World Tree launched an attack. Branches turned into vines, striking like whips. Jin Lei recovered from his shock, his body glowing with golden light, transforming into boundless thunder, blasting away the attacking vines. The thunder exploded, and the World Tree's attack couldn't get close to him. Jin Lei said deeply, your soul world is indeed surprising, and you may be strong in the future, but not now. But the future has nothing to do with you, everything you have will be mine. Lin Moyu shook his head, not necessarily. As he spoke, the World Tree's vines struck again. Jin Lei snorted coldly, your strength is too weak, useless. Lin Moyu sighed, I said, not necessarily. 2 great Daos descended. The Time Great Dao and Space Great Dao appeared simultaneously, intertwining to form a space-time trap. The entire soul world's space-time became chaotic, an extreme chaos dividing the soul world into countless regions, each only half a meter in diameter, with time and space staggered in each. In his soul world, Lin Moyu could push his mastery of the Great Dao to the extreme. The chaos of space-time cut through the soul world. Jin Lei, caught in different times and spaces, was thrown into confusion, unable to adapt. Time Great Dao, Space Great Dao. Jin Lei never expected Lin Moyu to master both time and space Great Daos. His body shrank rapidly, trying to escape the multiple layers of time chaos. Otherwise, his thoughts and body's reactions would be completely out of sync. At this moment, the World Tree's branches struck again. Jin Lei saw that while the World Tree seemed fearsome, its realm wasn't high. Even if he stood still and let it hit him, he wouldn't be hurt. Now, the priority was to escape the chaotic space-time. The world tree's branches struck, with a touch of gold mixed in. The gold hit Jin Lei, and he screamed, being sent flying. His soul body was nearly torn apart, already injured. Jin Lei looked at the world tree in shock, finally seeing what had hit him. He exclaimed, "Why is the divine continent cauldron here?" Lin Moyu chuckled, "You guess." The world tree swung its branches again, using the divine continent cauldron as a weapon. Jin Lei dared not clash with the divine continent cauldron, and thunder exploded. The soul space shook, large areas shattered, and Lin Moyu couldn't help but groan. When the soul world was damaged, its owner would also be hurt. The world tree wielded the divine continent cauldron with great momentum, smashing through the thunder, forcibly creating a path. Jin Lei unleashed thunder furiously, roaring, "Little guy, you've angered me. You have no idea how powerful the Great Tao realm is." A great Tao appeared with a roar, endless thunder falling, as if the soul world faced its apocalypse. Lin Moyu was unafraid, knowing Jin Lei wouldn't dare destroy his soul world. He still wanted to possess him. Moreover, his soul world wasn't something that could be destroyed at will. Luck gathered in his palm, forming a sword of luck. Chapter 2879, 2879. Chapter 2879, Impossible, this is impossible. The sword of luck flashed and pierced Jin Lei. In an instant, 3 strikes, and Jin Lei roared in anger, "Bastard, how dare you cut my luck!" His luck was weakened, and his power dropped significantly. Lin Moyu sneered, "We're fighting to the death, do we need to follow rules?" Jin Lei roared, "Get lost." Jin Lei's body exploded, merging with the thunder Great Tao, transforming into boundless thunder. Thunder chains shot out from the thunder, attacking Lin Moyu. At the same time, Lin Moyu lost his lock on Jin Lei. Lin Moyu took a step back, retreating far away. The space Great Tao trembled, compressing the space of the soul world, rapidly expanding it. He was the master here, holding an absolute advantage. Although Jin Lei was very strong, far stronger than Lin Moyu was already at the Tao Sovereign Third Realm on the soul level, not without the ability to fight. Jin Lei manipulated the Thunder Great Tao, crushing towards Lin Moyu with madness. Laughter rang out. A Great Tao realm can transform into the Great Tao itself, crushing with the Great Tao. You have no chance of winning. Jin Lei hid within the Great Tao, making it impossible for ordinary methods to lock onto him. Transforming into the Great Tao was stronger and more difficult to deal with than the true form of the Great Tao. Dealing with him was like dealing with the entire Great Tao. Lin Moyu had an idea, separating a wisp of the Luck Great Tao, silently attaching it to Jin Lei's Great Tao. The power of the Luck Great Tao was too ethereal, and even the Thunder Great Tao didn't react. In an instant, Lin Moyu locked onto Jin Lei again. The sword of luck condensed, transforming into a poison sword, then flashed. A scream rang out, "You poisoned my luck." Despite being a Great Tao realm expert, he realized his luck was poisoned. Thunder roared as he used the power of the Great Tao to erase the poisonous luck. Lin Moyu snorted coldly, condensing the sword of luck again. Jin Lei, within the Great Tao, was furious, "Impossible, how can you lock onto me?" The next second, he screamed madly, "You understand the Great Tao's enemy locking technique, how do you know it?" Lin Moyu laughed, "You said I'm smart, so it's normal for me to know the Great Tao's enemy locking technique. You can sever the Great Tao, can't you? Don't tell me you can't." Lin Moyu had already guessed that Jin Lei couldn't sever the Great Tao. If he could, he would have done it long ago, not be so frantic. Swish, swish, swish. The sword of luck struck Jin Lei 3 more times, weakening his aura again. But even as a Great Tao realm, with the huge gap in realms, the sword of luck wasn't very effective. The poisonous luck was also erased by the Thunder Great Tao. The Thunder Great Tao continued to charge at Lin Moyu, turning into a sea of thunder wherever it went, damaging the soul world and making Lin Moyu uncomfortable. Jin Lei was determined to first deal with Lin Moyu, complete the possession, and then find a way to repair the soul world. As a Great Tao realm expert, repairing a soul world was no problem. Lin Moyu guessed Jin Lei's intention and naturally wouldn't confront him head-on. Jin Lei could restore some power because of the Great Tao reward. Moreover, the Great Tao reward must have a time limit. He just needed to stall. When he asked Jin Lei earlier, he didn't say, which made Lin Moyu even clearer that the time limit wouldn't be long. The time Great Tao trembled, and the time in the soul world accelerated tenfold. Time sped up 10 times. 1 second outside was 10 seconds inside the soul world. However, Jin Lei, transformed into the Great Tao, was protected by the Great Tao, reducing the effect of Lin Moyu's time Great Tao. Jin Lei's time was only accelerated twofold, not as much. Even so, Jin Lei felt the urgency. He indeed didn't have much time. He became more frantic, determined to kill Lin Moyu first, even if it meant severely injuring Lin Moyu's soul, as it could be repaired later. Sensing Jin Lei's frenzy, Lin Moyu sneered, "The more frantic you are, the better. The more you lose your mind, the easier you are to deal with." Jin Lei had no idea that Lin Moyu wasn't afraid of the soul world being destroyed. He only needed one rebirth for the soul world to recover instantly. It could be said that he had even fewer scruples than Jin Lei. The two pursued and fled, the world tree wielding the divine continent cauldron, continuously smashing into the Thunder Great Tao. The divine continent cauldron was strong, but unfortunately, the world tree wasn't strong enough, so the attack wasn't very effective. Lin Moyu condensed the Sword of Luck 5 times in a row, with average results. But Lin Moyu didn't care too much. The explosive luck technique's Tao pattern shone, and his luck soared. Boom, luck exploded, and Jin Lei let out a scream. Although the explosive luck technique was also affected by the realm, the most important factor was the difference in luck. His luck was far inferior to Lin Moyu's, and under the explosive luck technique, he was immediately harmed. Lin Moyu could feel Jin Lei's power weakening again, seemingly on the verge of falling out of the Great Tao realm and becoming a Tao sovereign again. Although his realm fell, he was still a Tao sovereign 9th realm, still powerful. But Jin Lei felt a deep chill. Lin Moyu was too troublesome. The soul world was already shattered, and if it continued, it would collapse. Once the soul world collapsed, Lin Moyu, its owner, would be crippled if not dead. Jin Lei couldn't understand why Lin Moyu wasn't panicking at all. The area for Lin Moyu to dodge was shrinking, and the Sea of Thunder seemed about to engulf him. At this moment, Lin Moyu pointed, and in the twisted space, the bone hell emerged from the deepest layer, enveloping Jin Lei and his entire Great Tao. The Eye of Hell swept with a powerful soul attack, causing Jin Lei some discomfort, though not enough to harm him. The bone hell wasn't very strong, but its appearance frightened Jin Lei. Upon seeing the Gate of Hell, Jin Lei screamed, "The Gate of Hell, impossible, this is impossible." Lin Moyu sneered as the hellish fiends pounced, biting regardless of effectiveness. The hellish fiends gnawed at the Thunder Great Tao, overestimating themselves, and were immediately torn apart by the Great Tao. Jin Lei was clearly frantic, and in his screams, he instinctively unleashed terrifying power, shredding the bone hell to pieces. The terrifying power exploded through the bone hell, becoming the last straw that broke the soul world. The soul world collapsed, and Lin Moyu's rule world, the middle layer, crumbled. The entire rule world completely broke down. Then a purple light flashed, with indescribable magical power, instantly restoring the just collapsed soul world to normal. Everything was as if nothing had happened, except Jin Lei's aura and power were far weaker than before. Everything returned to the state when Jin Lei first entered. Jin Lei was on the verge of collapse, regretting his choice. In hindsight, it was greed that drove him. Lin Moyu's fate was so strong, able to bear the Scourge Staff and possessing 2 illusory Great Taos and origin spells. Such a fate was not something he could easily possess. Greed led to this result. Regret and resentment consumed Jin Lei, driving him to madness. The Thunder Great Tao exploded with his madness, transforming into a sea of thunder, countless thunder giants emerging and attacking in all directions. Chapter 2880, 2880. Chapter 2880, The Heaven-Defying Balance Gem. Lin Moyu's heart stirred as he realized Jin Lei had gone mad. Countless thunder giants surged from the Sea of Thunder, attacking in all directions. The soul world was still sealed by the world tree, but the world tree's power was slightly lacking against the thunder giants. The world tree enveloped the entire soul world, but its branches were easily torn apart by the thunder giants, unable to stop them. The thunder giants were at the Tao Sovereign 7th realm, extremely powerful. However, these thunder giants seemed unstable, as if they could collapse at any moment. If this technique were used at Jin Lei's peak, it would naturally be no problem. But now, Jin Lei was on the verge of falling from the Great Tao realm, and his power came from the Great Tao reward, limited in both strength and time. Moreover, Jin Lei was long dead, leaving only a remnant soul. With all these factors combined, the thunder giants, though powerful, couldn't be sustained for long. He already knew Jin Lei's intention, to tear apart his soul world. But Jin Lei clearly forgot that his soul world could be restored. It had already been restored once. If he weren't truly mad, he wouldn't repeat such a meaningless act. Why did he suddenly go mad? Was the shock too great? Why is this happening? Lin Moyu didn't have time to think too much. He had to deal with the immediate problem first. With a thought, the Undead Legion was deployed. Though not strong, the Undead Legion was numerous enough to act as a meat shield, buying some time. At the same time, Lin Moyu himself charged towards Jin Lei. Jin Lei wanted to tear apart his rule world, so he would tear apart Jin Lei's soul body. His soul was indeed far weaker than Jin Lei's, but he had the Scourge Staff. Activating the origin spell, Lin Moyu's soul rapidly ascended, rising from the Dao Sovereign Third Realm to the Sixth Realm. The soul realm was enhanced, but his physical body remained unmoved. Without using the Great Dao Undying Pill, the Dao Sovereign Sixth Realm was the soul's limit. His power was much stronger than before, giving Lin Moyu enough confidence. Using the Space Great Dao, Lin Moyu charged into the Thunder Great Dao where Jin Lei was. The Great Dao enemy lock guided Lin Moyu, the first Dao pattern shining, and the luck deduction symbol was activated. The luck symbol deduced future events, allowing Lin Moyu to avoid incoming thunderbolts in advance. Though not as fast as the thunder, he could foresee events a few seconds ahead, enough to dodge. The future kept changing, and Lin Moyu kept deducing, dodging attacks repeatedly. Finally, he saw Jin Lei. At this moment, Jin Lei's aura fluctuated violently, as if he could fall from the Great Dao realm at any time. Jin Lei's eyes were somewhat vacant, his soul twisting, truly mad, having lost his reason. A Great Dao realm being, driven mad, who would believe it? The Dao heart of the Great Dao realm is so strong, how could it go mad? What kind of shock could drive a Great Dao realm mad? But now wasn't the time to think about these things. Lin Moyu had already reached Jin Lei, swinging the Scourge Staff down. Boom! A thunderbolt exploded, blasting Lin Moyu away, nearly destroying half his soul, almost triggering rebirth. This change wasn't part of the luck deduction symbol's prediction. It hadn't happened during the deduction. The thunder came from the Great Dao. Lin Moyu understood that Jin Lei must have sensed the danger and instinctively reacted. A Great Dao realm's sense of danger is strong, making it difficult for Lin Moyu to approach. With a flick of his finger, the world-destroying fire appeared out of thin air, enveloping Jin Lei's remnant soul. The remnant soul seemed stimulated, screaming, and the Thunder Great Dao exploded. Countless thunderbolts shot out, landing on Jin Lei, extinguishing the world-destroying fire. The world-destroying fire, capable of burning divine pet souls, couldn't burn Jin Lei's remnant soul. A Great Dao realm could use the Great Dao to extinguish the world-destroying fire. Even the world-destroying fire was ineffective, leaving Lin Moyu at a loss. At this moment, the soul gem on the Scourge Staff suddenly glowed, an earthy yellow light flowing out, spreading over Lin Moyu's entire soul. The recently wounded soul healed instantly. Lin Moyu understood the soul gem's intention. It sensed Jin Lei's soul and was tempted. Lin Moyu charged again, raising the Scourge Staff. Jin Lei reacted again, raising a hand to unleash a thunderbolt. The soul gem on the Scourge Staff glowed, protecting Lin Moyu's soul. The thunder struck the soul, but the earthy yellow light from the soul gem neutralized it. The earthy yellow light was strong, blocking the Great Dao realm's thunder. But the thunder's impact still made it difficult for Lin Moyu to approach. The balance gem, which had never moved, suddenly glowed. Lin Moyu didn't know what the balance gem did, as its name wasn't very telling. This time, the balance gem moved, clearly pulled by the soul gem. The balance gem released an invisible force, enveloping both Lin Moyu and Jin Lei. In an instant, Lin Moyu felt the thunder striking him weaken. Not only did the thunder weaken, but Jin Lei also weakened. Jin Lei's power quickly fell below the Great Dao realm, continuously dropping, soon reaching only Dao Sovereign Sixth Realm. Dao Sovereign Sixth Realm, exactly Lin Moyu's current realm. Now Jin Lei's state was bizarre. He was still in the Great Dao realm, but his attacks were only at Dao Sovereign Sixth Realm. Lin Moyu finally understood the balance gem's function, balance. It balanced the enemy's power with his own realm. If the enemy's power exceeded his realm, it would be reduced to match his. Balance gem, truly heaven-defying. With a silent sigh, Lin Moyu braved the thunder, swinging the Scourge Staff down. The Scourge Staff struck Jin Lei's soul, and Jin Lei screamed, his chaotic consciousness suddenly clearing. Like a final moment of clarity before death, his consciousness returned. Lin Moyu suddenly wanted to ask why he went mad. But it was too late. The soul gem activated, drawing his soul in. Lin Moyu couldn't stop the soul gem. Jin Lei seemed to know he was about to die, muttering repeatedly, "Impossible, this is impossible." 2 seconds later, Jin Lei's soul was drained, and he died. The Thunder Great Dao disappeared, and the Thunder Giants collapsed. A great battle finally ended in less than half a minute. Most of the undead legion had collapsed, with hundreds of billions dead. They weren't just dead and revivable, they were truly dead, with no chance of revival. Against the Thunder Giants, the undead legion was no match. Such is the gap in realms, completely overwhelming. Lin Moyu summoned a skeleton general, then linked spells, letting them replenish themselves. His consciousness returned to reality, where the thunder chains in the secret vault had disappeared, and the vault was shaking, gradually collapsing. Lin Moyu remained still, deep in thought, reflecting on the entire process. He didn't want to fight the extraterrestrial god, knowing he couldn't kill it, but feared the Great Dao's punishment, so he used his power to trap it for countless years. One reason was to wait for someone to save him, another was fear of being killed by the extraterrestrial god, yet,